I always get one person rocking to the beat.
Hey, what's up? I'm here just in time, man. That's time right there.
What's up, D3?
What's up, D3? A lot of new faces going on, fellas.
I can see you, Piggy, just jamming out. It
was banging.
Yeah. Well, just want to say welcome to everybody on the show. We're talking about we're gonna do a verses later, but for right now, we got a couple special guests in the house. Half Dead Customs.
What's going on?
And then
Gotta highlight him.
So you got what?
Oh, look at that piece behind him. Damn.
Gotta highlight shot, man.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, the paint is in the building.
Gabe, what's up, man?
I'm trying to make my lighting better.
He kicks you out. I don't think you're.
Okay, forget that. Forget that. This is too much pointing and clicking. So, and then of course, Matt. What's up, Matt? How you doing?
Guys, how's it going?
Did I kick him?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Tonight.
What was that, D3?
Some star-studded painters in the building tonight.
Yes, sir. So yeah, like I was saying, we got some guests in the house tonight. Painters and what would you call you guys yourselves? Like painters. I know some of you guys do like custom statues and stuff. So
I use scale modeler as a general term.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually just painter.
Yeah.
Or
My title is creator of dreams, so that's what I'm doing.
Oh wow.
Creator of dreams. Creator of dreams. Got it.
I like that.
But I'll go around and say hi to everybody else on the panel. Steve, what's up, man? How you doing?
This always happens every show, you guys. So like,
He
doesn't know how to do his intros.
Nothing to do with my hands.
Yeah, he's always like this, like
He wasn't
higher.
I'm good the rest of the show. It's just the beginning and the end. It's like
Yeah.
I'll get it down one of these days. I promise.
He has a badass intro song, but when it comes to him, like, he's like, "Hey, you guys," like Mickey Mouse or something.
Hey, watch your mouth. I don't talk like that. What's up, Steve? How's your day been going?
Good, man. I think I have like I got sick on Tuesday, and I don't know, man. It's been lingering ever since, and trying to get over it. So, but statues make you better, supposedly. So
you just got to go over there and rub them, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
thanks for the invite.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Hope you feel better.
Yeah.
D3, man, you made it like on time today, like on time. How's your day been going?
We're going good, man. Can't complain. I'm glad to be here again. Some statues, pretty much one of the highlights of my day. Also trying to see what's going on in Minnesota and Denver game. Hoping the Wolves split out. Yeah, that's about it.
Gotcha. Your mic's a little low, buddy.
Thanks.
Gabe, man, how's your day been going?
Pretty good, man. All the kids are to bed, and now this is me time, so this is nice.
That's the best time, right? When you
Yeah.
get kids to
I
bed.
got another 15 minutes. I gotta go to bed. No. Tomorrow's Friday and payday, so it's a great day.
Yep. Biggie, man, what's up, man?
It's a good day. Me and D3 both rocking the Sox hat. No matter what team. I said we both rocking the White Sox hats. So it don't matter what team you rooting for, as long as you get on the Sox or Cubs hat. You all good in my book.
There's no allegiance there, man.
No, I didn't hear that part. But no, man, I'm happy to be here. Like Gabe said, tomorrow's payday, even though my check is spent already. Still good to see it for a few minutes.
I have that problem too.
Yeah, that 30 seconds you get to see it hit the direct deposit before it goes out makes it all worth it. So
that 30 seconds is a good feeling.
It is. Happy to be in the building, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for coming on, man.
Yes,
Matt, what's up? How you doing? How's your day been going?
Good, man. Yeah, can't complain.
Yeah.
I'm home alone right now, which is kind of nice. It's quiet.
Did you get hit by that rainstorm earlier?
Well, that's
What's
the
that?
best.
Did you get hit by that rainstorm earlier?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had a pretty good storm. You're only 2 hours away. So, yeah, this morning around lunchtime, it's cleared up now. Nice out.
Yeah, it rained cats and dogs here about 30, 45 minutes ago. All the power went out in my house. It was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get that bad.
Yeah, it's been flooding down here too, really bad. So
I drove from West Texas a couple weeks ago, and we were doing like 20 miles on the highway, and I couldn't see 10 feet in front of me. It was raining so hard. It was crazy.
yeah, it makes me. I always makes me nervous, man. I don't like driving in the rain. I was fine.
I don't mind driving in the rain. It's the idiots doing 80 miles per hour going by me that make me nervous.
Well, a couple years back, I was driving in the rain on the way to work, and I flipped my car. So ever since then, I don't like driving in the rain. I guess I have to.
You flipped it?
I flipped it, going 85 miles an hour, hydroplaned, and ended up on the roof of the car. So it was not fun.
What kind of car was it?
It was a little Kia, 4-door. You know, it was like my get to and work from work car, but I mean all the airbags went off and everything, so it was, you know, I walked out of that without a scratch. So
you lucky that thing.
Upside down, and I was able to get myself out of the car and the door open and everything, and ever since then I don't like driving in the rain anymore.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't either.
Yeah. So half day, man. How's your day been going? What you been up to today?
Mine's been good. Actually, been getting a little packing done. I'm actually making a big move this summer to St. Thomas. So
wow.
I've been ordering like a whole bunch of like paints and supplies, because down there you got Amazon, but they take like a week and a half to come. So I'm just stocking up before I move and finish up this apocalypse. And I don't know if you saw, I had posted in a group. I had got my John Henry Iron Steel done.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was dope, man.
Yeah, I got that in the printer now. So
Yo, Piggy, did you see that? It's still. Oh, you gotta check it out, man. It's still.
I've got pictures of it. We'll show it later.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait.
But just real fast, go into the chat and say hi to everybody in the chat real fast. Ledge, what's up, man? Star Wars addict. Every time you say hello there, I hear what's that dude's name? Hello there.
Darth Vader.
That's not.
No. Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. There you go. What's up, Vision?
What's up, Vision?
Rifter. Keesis. I thought I felt the hate.
Man.
Got the Cinebites. What's up, man? Jojo. Darth Rashid. What's up, man?
What's up, Rashid?
Bunch of men talking about stuff.
Shane, what's up, man? And then Jojo, which I've already said hi to, but do it again. But yeah, for everybody tuning in right now, wondering who these three other guys are on the chat, it's so we just invited some painters on just to talk about, you know, their craft and, you know, basically, you know, just invite them on and talk about customs and all the stuff that they've been doing, what they've been up to, stuff they've been working on. Basically it. So
yeah, I think that was good that you brought up this topic, just to give everybody in the community a different angle to see things. Because I know it's one thing, like I get like one track minded, just painting and printing stuff. Other people might get one track minded, just buying and getting these statues, and vice versa. So just to have different segments of people giving different angles of the hobby is great.
Yeah. I mean, because
go ahead.
Yeah,
different people from different parts of the hobby, like do whatever they do, you know, it's kind of like getting more insight into the hobby as a whole, and then putting all the pieces together.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about trying to get commissioners on the show too, and you know, like custom commissioners, but you know, understandably, it's kind of one of those like hush hush type deals. You know, they don't necessarily want to show their faces, and which is I understand, you know, especially right now in today's climate, stuff's going on. But you know, the invitation's always out there. If anybody ever wants to come on, you know, and talk their craft or, you know, projects that they've got going on. There's a couple guys in the group that are commissioners, and they've promoted some of their stuff in my group and me and D3's group, and You know, so it's nice to get different, you know, aspects and different stuff out there, like you were saying, Half Dead, you know, painters and commissioners and the collectors, you know. So that's kind of what this show is about. It's kind of like, you know, filling that niche, you know, between statues and customs and all the stuff that involves it. So
Yeah.
but Gabe, man, how long you been painting for?
Let's see. I actually started my painting like with miniatures. So like I got into like tabletop games, kind of like 40K, but it was actually War Machine. It was one that I really like. Privateer Press made it, and they just made these like cool little robots. I was like, oh, this is awesome. So
I have no idea what you're talking about right now, but it sounds cool.
That's fine.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Warhammer? You don't know Warhammer at all?
I know Warhammer. You should have led with that. Like whatever else you were saying, I was like, I don't know what that is.
Well, I said 40K, so I mean, naturally, people are like, oh, okay, the short abbreviation. It's kind of like 40K.
Okay.
And the company is like Privateer Press that makes it, but I mean, they just had like robots and all sorts of like fun things to like battle each other. So I started painting those about like 10 years ago, and I actually had more fun like painting the miniatures than I did actually playing the game. So like all my stuff was like painted on the table and all that, and I would like do like weird custom poses or like add new things to them and all that, like just customizing them. And then I break because I kept having kids. So like a 2 or 3 year break. So, and then when the 2020 and all the fun stuff happened, that time I kind of picked back up painting a little bit. And then
you say kept having kids. How many kids do you got?
I've got 3. So.
I've got you beat double that for me.
Oh, good gosh.
So,
how do you afford those statues then? I know how much daycare is.
You get into Nick Cannon numbers, man.
you guys are rookies.
You got to open up a YouTube channel. That's all.
You know what? I'm okay being a rookie. I think I'm going to stay right there. So
I don't blame you.
Yeah. So I've got 3. I actually do have a pandemic baby. So because you get bored. So,
pandemic baby.
Yeah.
I've never heard that term before.
I call a couple of mine deployment babies. You know, you come back from deployment. You know, and
deployment. You just got to make time for that stuff. So you know. There's also one that's a margarita baby, but we don't have to talk about that one. So he's a troublemaker.
Go figure.
Yeah, but back to painting. So like then once the pandemic happened, I started noticing like printers and all that kind of stuff, and I made a good friend online that does a lot of printing work. And so I was like, hey, can you just print me off this stuff, and I'll like start painting it. And then like my passion is kind of like painting Mortal Kombat stuff. So like I grew up playing that game. I still want a commissioner to make the 95 OG movie. So and if not, I'll do it myself. So I don't care.
Oh, snap.
But I really do just enjoy painting, like making custom pieces, stuff like that. I kind of just do my own thing.
So do you print your statues and paint them, or?
Nah, I don't print them. I mean, my space is limited, and there's like a certain smell that comes with printing statues. So I just have my friend do it for me, and then he ships them to me.
Gotcha.
So, and all the time that I have to paint, then I do it then. So,
gotcha. What about you, Matt? What's your story?
So my background in painting goes all the way back to high school. I started in the automotive world doing paint and body work. So I worked for out of high school. I worked for a shop here in Dallas, where all we did was 55 through 57 Thunderbirds, small T-birds. So I got kind of my chops through doing paint and body work, paint restoration, stuff like that. And then I always built models as a kid. My dream goal as a kid was to work for ILM. I wanted to build spaceships for a living. And so as a kid, I'd buy, models and build them and blow them up, and never really painted anything until about 2008 or 9, I think it was. I was I can't remember where it was. I think I was in New York City I'm a photographer by trade. That was my previous career. Now I'm a painter. I was on a photo shoot, and I was in a toy store, and they saw a bunch of Gundams on a shelf. I was like, oh, I remember those, cartoons. So I bought a Gundam model kit and kind of snapped it together and kind of got the spark going again, and started building and painting those. And then, so the painting just kind of translated from the automotive industry to models. They're just much smaller. It's a lot of the same. All the prep work that I do, that comes from that world. And then the painting, I've just kind of learned from others and paint by doing for the most part, but that's my background. As far as statues go, I got into it quite by accident, probably back in 2000, and I'd say about 2017, 18 is kind of when the Bushi Beast came across my feed as a render, and like, oh man, that's really cool. I never knew about statues or collectibles or anything like that, and just kind of went down the rabbit hole and kind of discovered this whole world of old men that collect statues.
Speak for yourself. I'm not that old.
I
never.
I didn't really know anything about
Steve's old, but everybody else is.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Well, I'm old. I'm almost 50, but I never knew.
That's not old.
I didn't know anything about Sideshow. I knew about Hot Toys a little bit, but I didn't really know anything about Sideshow or any of that stuff. So my first introduction was customs for the most part. Kind of discovering that by
expensive
accident.
introduction.
Yeah, kind of discovering that by accident, and I was like, that looks really cool. I mean, I was on Rad Titan last month, and like, I don't collect, I don't read comics. I just like the artwork, and I like painting these things, and I think they're cool.
Yeah.
So I learn a lot from my clients based on their backstory. This is character They'll send me art from a comic book. So anyway, yeah, it was by accident. I got sent down a rabbit hole and like, where can I get one of these to paint? And I kind of was able to get a few kits, and I painted a few for myself and posted them on Facebook. And within I kind of discovered the statue like Rad Titan and the other communities was posting my work, and probably within after a week or two of posting work, I started getting inundated with requests to paint things, even though I really had never painted a comic character ever. So that's how I kind of got into it. It was by accident. And that's it. And I paint full time. I've been a full-time painter because of the pandemic. I got laid off from my corporate job, and it's kind of by necessity more than wanting to, but it's been working out. I can't complain.
Yeah, I mean, if you enjoy it and it pays the bills, I mean, why not? If something,
Yeah.
Half dead, man. What's your story?
My story. So
Yeah.
it started off with playing airsoft.
Okay.
Right?
Airsoft. Okay.
Yeah, airsoft. So I used to go out on the weekends play airsoft, and one thing in any hobby you're in, you always want to upgrade and get the best of it, whatever it is. So I know some muzzles and silencers, you have to get them 3D printed. So at the airsoft shop I used to go to, he was trying to charge an arm and a leg. So I just started looking at 3D printers, and I bought the 3D printer to start doing like little upgrades to my airsoft guns. And I had joined, my first 3D printer was a Creality Ender 3 Pro. So I had joined that group on Facebook. So, everybody exchanging information. And I seen this guy that made models for small soldiers. And that was my childhood movie, man. I remember being with my grandma on no cable. And I used to
love that movie too.
Yeah, watch that movie over and over.
I haven't talked about that movie in a long time. I haven't even thought about that movie in a long time.
Guys, you should do a review for it.
So
Yeah.
I got most of it done.
Nice.
This was so I seen the small soldiers, and it just brought me back to my childhood. And it became a rabbit hole. So now I'm looking at bigger printers, and I'm seeing guys doing statues. So I never owned like anything from Sideshow or Exo. I never owned none of that. I always just printed. And I'm watching videos on how to learn how to print, paint. Seeing Matt, I learned a lot from Matt. For people that want to learn how to paint, I always say either watch watch. These are two channels I watch with Matt Morozic and Raphael. Raphael.
Yeah, Robledo. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the other guy, Vince something Customs.
Bensville Customs.
Yeah, him too.
Yeah.
And
I've seen that before.
yeah, that's
It's
really
pretty good.
it, man. Just on the internet, reading forums, watching every video I can, and just applying it. And then as I got deeper and deeper into it, you get commissions. I really I'm real selective with my commissions, because I don't like that feeling of, I don't want it to take that fun away from me, because I really enjoy it, and it commissions you on the time, and I might have something going on in life, with the kids, and I might, I don't like to feel pressured.
You don't want to turn the fun or the hobby into work. Basically, you want to enjoy it.
So I'm actually about to go that whole custom route soon, like with a manufacturing. We could get in another conversation. And then I got into trying to learn ZBrush how to sculpt, but it's impossible to sculpt and paint at a high level. I think it's impossible. You can't, as much time as you spend painting and as much time sculpting, you can't balance the two. So I started dealing with different sculptors and stuff like that, and I get pieces commissioned on a regular, print, paint those, and that's really it.
Yeah, we've been seeing an uptick a lot lately in the custom world with like the printed statues.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys, I mean, obviously you guys see a lot of it, I'm sure, but we're seeing it a lot in the custom world. Oh man, those, and they're getting better every day. It seems like, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I think once we could figure out a way at home to get packaged down packed, decent painters, guys that are good at painting, can really like. I can see like them big companies kind of phasing out with the years to come because more and more people picking it up, and it's like the selection of what you can get. Like I can go to a sculptor right now, and this is what I want, exactly how I want it. Like that still I just did, you know what I mean? I did an 8-man before that. I did a blue marble, and it's like some of them companies have, I guess, like guidelines on what they'll put out there. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't see a Wolverine with his middle finger sticking up with a cigar in his mouth.
Yeah.
But you know, you pay a sculptor and you can get that done, and either you print it or get somebody else to print it, and you got it. But I think the major thing is just the packaging. The packaging.
How much does a good a printer cost these days? Are they pretty expensive?
Depends on what you're printing and how big you want to go.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
you can
okay,
get like $200 to like $50 to like $2,000. Like I recommend printers like the Anycubic Ender 3 Pro, Anycubic M3 Max. I got 4 of those and a couple other smaller ones. But
I mean, my biggest printer is the Frozen Mega 8K, and I got it on Kickstarter. And a buddy of mine here in Dallas, we bought the 2-pack. So we got a really good deal on it because both of them shipped. By the time we split the fees for shipping everything, it was about $1,800, $1,700 for that printer. That was from the Kickstarter. Now to get that printer, they just came out with a newer version of it, but now it's like a $2,500 printer plus shipping. But it's big.
Yeah. Don't some of them parts be on waiting lists?
Say again?
Don't some of the parts for the Frozen be on waiting lists?
I don't know. I haven't had to knock on wood. I haven't had to buy any replacement parts.
Oh, nice.
I've had Frozen printers, Anycubic, and Saturn, and out of those 3 brands, the Frozens have been the best in my personal experience.
All right. I live by Anycubic. I got one Elgu, but Anycubic, man, once you get it dialed in, you're good to go.
I've never done FDM. I went straight into resin. I've never done FDM, so I don't even know how to do it.
Hey Matt, just before I wanted to
my notepad,
I want to say hey to Matt, the other Matt, our Matt.
Oh.
There's 2 of you on the show right now. So
hey, I had a quick question. So Matt, with like prints that say come from like owners, right?
Yeah.
How much would a printer cost that would print to that quality? Or is it more than?
So what we get from Ownage, we actually don't get prints. We get kits. So Ownage is making a master print, and then they mold and cast that and make resin copies of it. So I've actually looked at getting what they use. They use the company they use is called Stratasys 3D. That's the brand that they use for printers. And I know this because a well-known commissioner told me that because he works with them. And I looked at one because I kept getting requests to print bigger things. And you can print anything you want on any printer. It just depends how many pieces you want to cut it up into so it fits on your printer. So the ideal situation is to print, especially bases, which are, these bases are getting bigger and more complicated. If you can print those in fewer pieces, the better off you are because you have less putting together, seam work, putty work, all that crap. That's a lot of work. So the smallest printer that I've looked at getting was 24 inches cubed on the X, Y, and Z axis. That printer was, I think at the time, this was about 6 years ago, was like $95,000 for the printer.
Yeah.
Now, there's a caveat to that. So in order to print the full height, the full 24 inches, you have to fill it with about $25,000 worth of resin. You have to fill that sucker all the way up to the top because it works differently than what we use here at home. It's a different technology and it's a different process.
$25,000 of
so your first print out of the gate, if it doesn't fail, is about $11,000. Oh, sorry, $110,000 to get one of those printers. But it's it's a different technology. The quality. The thing is that the printers that we're getting today, we call them desktop printers, the quality is there. The trick is dialing it in with which resin you're using. There's so many little tweaks you can do to it to get dialed in. There are guys that I get prints sometimes that I can't tell that it was printed.
Yeah, I've seen
except for the support marks and stuff that I've got to clean up. So like, I don't know if you guys, I'm working on a quarter scale Apocalypse right now. There's a 3D print, and it's really good. There's
that's the one you like, Mohammed.
Yeah. That Apocalypse came out so good. Like, I don't know, they've like exponentially like gotten better over time. Like within months, it seems
Wicked?
like Wicked's gotten like crazy good with their statues.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
one
so
we're looking at, D.
putting out some good stuff.
What
I
was
love
that,
Apocalypse.
Matt? You kind of cut out.
Who did?
You did.
Oh, I just think Wicked is putting out some really good stuff. I'm getting more and more pieces. I can print, but I'm pretty expensive because of the way I charge for it.
Yeah.
So I don't. You guys know Von Norden. He's the guy I've been getting a lot of stuff from him. People are buying prints from him.
I would say he's like a big 3D printer in the community.
Yeah, so he's got
Nice
his
X
stuff-
Collectibles.
Yeah, he's got his stuff dialed in, man. So he's using and the resin you use it isn't the most expensive resin, but it prints really well. So this Apocalypse I'm working on, man, it's like the base alone, once I put together, it weighs 12 pounds, just the base. You use 12 kilograms of liquid resin, 12 bottles of resin to print this sucker. So the print quality is really good. That doesn't mean it doesn't need work. All prints, no matter how good they are, need work. And a good example is, the very first Bushi Silver Surfer that was up on that big wave that came out years and years and years ago. You guys know that one?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that one. I had that print, the actual print that Onage made for that here in my possession because a collector bought it from Bushi. So, but in the process of molding and casting it, the wave got broke. The Silver Surfer was in a bunch of pieces because what they did is when you got the piece, it was all together, but they molded and cast it in several pieces. So I got the print to fix in order for it to be painted. And I saw all the work that Onage had put into the print, and they put in a ton. Like I stripped it down to bare resin, and the amount of putty and stuff was like more than what I do. But again, this is an older print. So even Onage, if you saw like what their print looks like by the time they're done getting it ready for primer and molding and casting, you would see putty work, you would see, seams that they filled in and fixed. You would see all that, but they're really, really good at it. That's why we get really good quality prints from them or kits, because their process, they've got it down, man. Their quality control is like bar none. It's just, it's rare that I have to do anything to an Onage kit. Once in a while, maybe I have to switch out a magnet, it's not strong enough, or add a magnet, it's not strong enough. Once in a while, I may find a very slight mold line I got to take care of or something that they missed, but for the most part, it's like 99% ready to paint anything from Onage. So that's why they cost so much. You get what you pay for from them.
Yeah, so, they have a very good reputation, I think, as far as
I love it
goes. So
yeah, they're the best out there as far as what people in the collectibles in the collecting world get as far as kits go.
I think the first time I even heard their name was from you when we were talking. When I had brought a statue up to you, you were talking about Onage. I hadn't even heard of him at that point.
Yeah.
But I definitely heard of him since. So, yeah, I hear good things about them all the time. I don't know if I have any of their stuff, but I know D3, you've got several pieces right there from Onage.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much all the kits that I buy are from Onage.
Yeah, and I mean, certain custom groups they only use Onage, and it because, well, not necessarily but it reflects it in their price of the kit. There's another producer that I don't like to mention because I don't want to start trash, but
yeah, don't do
their stuff is really hit or miss. It's like you don't know what you're gonna get.
I know who you're talking about too.
I think they're kind of like the general contractor of this particular factory, and they farm out printing to other companies, because I've gotten stuff from them that I know is from Onage. I can tell when I get it, like, this is an Onage print. Other stuff I've gotten is like, man, this is like a mess, and it takes a lot of work to get it just to fit and go together. So I think
and what's crazy that group you're talking about is supposed to be a higher tier.
Yes,
group. I know exactly what group you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. But the factory that they use, I think that factory contracts out printing services to different printers. I don't think they do it all in house. Because I'm convinced that they use different people to print their stuff and do that, because I've gotten stuff from them that it's like, oh man, it's like Onage, and other stuff like this. Where'd this come from?
Yeah, the spectrum was too wide. Like even that Sabretooth you did recently, you said was, it was from them, man, but it was really good. Really
Yeah,
good.
it was good, but it wasn't an Onage kit. I know, because I could see in an Onage kit when you get it, you look in the keys where things key in, and it's perfectly clean. It's smooth. There's no evidence of any work being done. On some of the other ones, you get it, and not that it still fits, but you can see there's putty work. You can see where it's not super clean, and that to be honest, it doesn't matter because you don't see it, but you can see where the work has been done, and you just know it's not an Onage. It's not an Onage print. It doesn't mean it's not good. It's just not Onage. Everything fits.
Yeah, and I never started paying attention to like factories and different quality kits, of course, until I started buying kits. But it's like, a deeper level you go into the hobby. First you're just collecting statues, or maybe licensed statues, stuff from Sideshow. Then you may go a little bigger and more expensive, XM, Prime 1. Then you find out about customs. You find out about kits, and it's just like, it's just so many different layers. Now you're thinking about what factory is your kit produced at. You're asking commissioners, what factory are you using? Are you quality control good there? Because if you buy a kit that needs a bunch of work, you send it to your painter, and they have to put in all these extra hours just making the kit like prime for painting. That's more money that's coming out of your pocket. So when you're buying kits, you want to be a little bit more selective, because there's more work that needs to be done.
That's specifically why I started building the way I built to paint, because in the very beginning I look at a photo like, oh, I'll do that for a price, and I get it. It's like, well, crap, now I'm making, what am I making per hour plus the cost of materials? Like, it wasn't worth my time. Yeah. So then I give a price based on what I think, what I see in the render is like, okay, this is what I think it's going to take. But once I get it, I really don't know. I'm getting better. Now that I know the factories more, since I've been painting full time for 4 years, I kind of know what to expect. I can get pretty accurate, quotes on what I think it's going to take to do something.
I got a quick question. Jojo asks, do the 3D prints have weight to it?
So no, because you will hollow them out to save on resin, because resin is not cheap. So what I do, I actually got this. I see you do the same thing. Like, I would slush cast them, depending on how big the part is. I make it solid. But let's just say if it's a torso, right? I'll slush cast it maybe like 2-3 times.
What's that mean?
Then I'll fill it with foam.
You're a rookie, Casual.
I know. That's what I'm asking. What
are you even asking that for?
I have
He stops at 7-Eleven first.
You know what?
So you're taking a two-part resin. You're taking a two-part resin, basically what they like Sideshow would use, or anyone to make a piece, and you're basically you plug all the holes except for one in that piece, and you pour a little bit of resin, and you basically you're moving it around to coat the inside of that print. It gives it a little more stability, sturdiness.
Okay. I see that with some.
So it's just to do that, and it just helps. It helps create it. It makes it a little more robust.
Yeah. Because with a 3D print, if it's hollowed out, let's just say if it was to take a fall, it will shatter. But if you slush cast it, then it'll kind of like crack, like like hairline crashes.
It's a little more. It's a stronger process. Is that basically?
Yeah, and also depending on how it's being printed and the type of resin will also determine if it breaks or not, if it falls.
Yep.
So sometimes, depending on the print I get, like let's say the Apocalypse I'm working on right now, I've done a few little live broadcasts. It's the way Bond printed it. The walls are really thick, like 3 millimeter or thicker walls. They're really sturdy. So I initially thought of putting rods in the legs and filling the feet solid, but weight does not equate to quality. I tell people this all the time. Just because it's heavy doesn't mean it's high quality. It just means it's fucking heavier and your shipping is going to be higher. That's what that means. Okay? So a good quality resin is going to have flex to it. You want it to hit the ground and bounce. If it hits the ground and shatters, they put a filler in that resin. Polystone is heavy, but it's very, very brittle. If you drop it, it's going to shatter. Okay? So resin kits or resin prints, if they use a resin that's got some flex to it, I dropped Apocalypse today and he bounced. The whole damn thing. He's glued in one piece. He fell off my lap and he bounced across the floor. He didn't break. and he's not filled or anything because the resin that Vaughn used has got some flex to it. Now, if that was a more brittle type resin, I probably would have cracked somewhere or whatever.
Why wouldn't all the companies use something like that then? Because it sounds like there's a lot of pluses to using that material compared to.
So, yeah, go ahead.
If you're doing a whole bunch of pieces with that kind of resin, that's expensive versus the poly.
Expensive.
Gotcha.
So like so in China, what they're doing is they're putting fillers in the resin to reduce the cost of the materials of the actual chemicals that go into that resin. So sometimes, when I'm drilling into a kit, I can tell by the smell if it's high quality or not too. If I smell fiberglass or something like that, I know it's got filler in it. If I don't smell anything, I know it's a high quality resin. You can also tell by how it feels when it drills into something.
Like when it crumbles up.
What's that?
Like when you drill in it, it's like in there real powdery and it crumbles
Yes.
up. It is some bullshit.
It's got filler in it. It's got filler in it, yeah. So if it's a softer resin or more high quality resin, the drill will go in there more smoothly. It won't. The drill will actually want to bite the resin and kind of pull itself into it. You got to be careful. I drill holes in my hands all the time because the drill will bite into it and it'll suck it through. But you can. It's weird. You kind of learn the sound of the drill, how it feels drilling it. It's you just learn by working with the material.
It's just crazy the amount of money, like, and not even talking about customs right now, just talking about regular licensed pieces. You spend all this money on these pieces, you would think they would want to use, and like I said, it's cheaper for them to do that, but still, I mean, prices of statues have gone up so much. Why couldn't they use that material? It's them being cheap and trying to make more money, so.
I would say that too, but in their defense a little bit, right? Especially, shopping around. It really is labor intensive work. You really think about all them pieces you gotta make molds of and cast over and over. Like, it's really labor intensive. Because I mean, I even do a little mold and casting myself. Just for me doing heads or a base that's plain and got too much, it takes a lot.
Got you.
Yep.
The prices will probably go even higher if that was the case.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But it's good to know that those options are out there, though. If you're willing to pay for it, like if you want like a one-off kit or something like that, and you want to spend some more, like for like that apocalypse that you're talking about, if you want to use it as a basketball, it's good to go.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't have
but
that.
like I said earlier,
guys.
I had in my lap.
Part of the marketing.
Break. So when I glue them together, I use usually 5 or 15 minute epoxy, and I clamp it down. I put a clamp on it, and I clamp it hard. So that resin with that flex allows me to put a lot of pressure on that clamp, and that glue is going to bond. So if he did break, the glue joint would stay solid, and he might break some. The resin would break before the glue joint broke. But so sometimes, depending on the piece, I'll fill the feet. Sometimes, like I did a bishop a few months ago. I filled him solid. The legs were solid all the way. He was solid up to the waist. And then just because of his stance and the way he sat, he needed a little extra weight just so he would stand correctly, the balance, because he was so top heavy with his arm outstretched. He needed some bottom weight to balance him out. So that's why I did that.
Yeah. Dang, I actually got that bishop. I wanted to get him painted before I had moved, but that same bishop, just piggyback on Wicked a little bit, they do awesome work, right? But my main thing about Wicked is sometimes their bases do too much, especially like trying to put them things together and paint it is like their base is just too much. So like, I give you an example. I'll show y'all real quick. That bishop, right? I didn't like those tentacles.
Yep.
So I don't know if y'all heard of a picture of Zed Studios. I used their base for Colossus and used Wicked's bishop on it.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. So you just go from,
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so kind of talking to that point, 3D printing and 3D sculpting is amazing. It's great. It allows you to do whatever the hell you want, create whatever characters you want. A lot of sculptors don't take into consideration what it would do, what it takes to either mold and cast that piece or even paint it. So going back to the bishop on the Wicked base with all the tentacles and stuff, those weren't too hard, even because I had to ship it, so I had those were all removable and big pins and stuff. But on the base, there's all these flames and stuff kind of intertwined within the tentacles, and It's some parts I could not physically paint. I couldn't get a brush to it. I couldn't get an airbrush to it because it's so intertwined. There's so many undercuts within that piece. You just can't get to it. You can't clean up the supports. There's no way to get a Dremel in there, or a sanding stick, so I told my clients that, hey, look, it's a great piece, but there's some areas where there's no paint because I can't get to it. I can't get a sanding stick in there to clean up the supports. So, by the time I was done with it, you can't tell, but so that's like where art direction comes into play for like Sideshow or XM, or Sculptor delivers a really cool looking piece, but we can't mold and cast that because of the way it's designed, and painting would be a nightmare. So they have to revise those sculpts or go back and kind of do some redesign to make it able to reproduce it hundreds and hundreds of times or 1,000 times, whatever they need to do. So that's, but that's the great thing about 3D printing. You can do whatever you want, but it also can make it really difficult for the people who are trying to build it or paint it later. So
Yeah.
Pat, question for you or even for Gabe or Have Their Customs. So when you get ready to ship, can you go into a little bit of the shipping process? Because with the license companies or even some of the customs, they kind of have those shipping containers molded. But when I say containers, like the styrofoam, the way it goes into the art box and the shipping box. So I would imagine it would be like one extra level of complexity when you're trying to ship this out. If you can just kind of give some of those details, like you put a bunch of the little air bubble things around them, or what's that like?
Depends on the print, I guess. So, I mean, me and you actually use the same print guy, by the way, Matt. So, Bond, shout out to you, buddy. So, you're awesome. The stuff he ships to me, he does a great job. Like, he wraps that stuff in bubble wrap very well, and then wraps it in saran wrap so it can't get loose. I mean, like, he probably overkills it, but that's great because, it lets you know that he really cares. And then, like when you have custom stuff, like they normally like cut out the foam. You typically do a drop test too, just to see if anything breaks, and reopen it. So, those are certain precautions you can take, but nothing's ever 100%. So, ship around the world too, and customs might have to look into it as well. It just depends.
Yeah.
So,
Oh man, that could be a nightmare with customs opening that up.
So going back to
sometimes.
Gabe, so going back to Gabe. So when we get the prints, they're in all their pieces, it's individual pieces, but those get glued together, to a point. Well, now you have this big thing. Now that's the trick. How do you pack that to, help get it to where it's got to go? So lots of bubble wrap, lots of peanuts, and lots of prayers.
yeah, I think it's more prayers than anything.
So a good example, I think we're going to show some work later. I did a big 3D printed He-Man last year, back in October, and I sent it in 2 boxes. So the base was 1 box, and everything else was double box and wrapped and shipped. All the little pieces showed up fine, but the base showed up in about 2,000 pieces, completely disintegrated. So luckily, my client had bought the insurance on it. And when I'm packing something like that, and particularly something that doesn't have the pre-cut foam, I photograph and document every step of the packing. I take a picture of the empty box. I take a picture of the pieces wrapped in the bubble wrap. I take a picture every time I put I'll have like 30 photos of the packing process. That way, if something shows up damaged, I can show that I did my best to pack it safely. So we filed the claim, took about a month, but they finally approved it for me to get the print redone, hire me to rebuild and repaint the base. So I did it twice. The second time around, my client, since he had all the pieces of the first base, he kind of did what you're suggesting. He took some foam from another statue, jerry rigged up the base the best he could because it was in 1 million pieces, and he cut several layers of foam that fit that shape. So he sent that to me in an empty box. So when I got done with the second base, I put it back in there and it arrived fine. But the best way is the custom cut foam, because what's happening is, you have all these forces from all these different directions that are getting jostled and stuff. And so, that's what you don't know. I've gotten stuff you could tell it's been thrown down a set of stairs, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And so I've got the Sandman I finished a few weeks ago. I have to ship that to Lebanon, and it's in a 3-foot cube box, just the big part. And I've got a bubble wrap to the nines. I took bubble wrap, and I'm just hoping it gets there in one piece. So it's got to go international.
And that was like I was saying earlier, when it comes to like, you know, just making printing statues from home. I think that's the real like I was saying earlier, is the shipping thing. Once we can get like way to mold shit, like the pieces, the shipping, they gotta be game changers, because you got a lot of painters. You got a lot of good painters out there. You got a lot of guys that's coming up that's going to be good painters. And I think, you know, if you got somebody that been getting licensed pieces with these pre-cut foam, and it weighs 1,000 pounds, and you get a 3D print that's come wrapped up in this light, it's kind of like, you know, but the paint job is amazing.
Yeah.
So I haven't tried this yet, but I have seen methods where basically, I think they've done this like it's like a video from China anyway. So basically, they take a plastic bag and they inject expandable foam into it, and before it expands, they put the whatever it is on top of that plastic bag, and the foam expands around it. Okay, on the bottom half. Then what they do is they put on another plastic bag on top of it, inject it with expandable foam, and just put something flat, either a piece of wood, or they close the box and let that foam expand. So that foam is conforming to the shape of whatever's between those two plastic bags, and that way it's supported from all directions.
Okay, for shipping. I see.
Yeah, for shipping. So
I could
it's
do a video if you guys want.
Yeah, so I need to try that. But these are like in factories. I'm not sure what kind of foam they're using. Oh, what's this?
There you go.
But I seen that. I just was scared that it would put too much pressure on like delicate parts of the statue.
That's what I would think too.
Depends on what you're shipping.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the same? This is the process.
This is the process. So there's a statue right there.
Oh, this is kind of cool because this is all. Oh, I've never seen this.
Oh, really? I forgot who
Not where
showed
the foam is already. That's cool. I've never seen this before. I've
It's-
seen it where it's like they're injecting the bag.
It reminds me of putting
That's
like
crazy.
insulation when you're doing insulation in the attic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to find these. These are cool.
Yeah, so they set it on the bottom and they put the statue right in the middle.
Yep.
This is not a statue, but this is a.
Wow.
Yeah,
And then they put another
That's
one
dope.
right on top.
they put another one on top. Yep. I need
And
to
then-
find these. We put that link in the private chat.
Yep. And as soon as they put the pressure on top, it stops molding to wherever like there's pressure applied to. So it's not.
Yeah, that's awesome. I need to
Yeah, I'll
find
be
those.
interested in that too.
You can find it at
Oh, that's dope.
cmp.com, by the way. No, I'm kidding. I'll send you the link right now.
Hey, I appreciate you fellas answering that. I just gotta say, I think you guys should do like a class, because I'm fascinated about all the information that we've been getting tonight, and I know it help a lot of people in the community. Like, there's a printed piece that I'm after where it's like Spider-Man playing basketball against Venom. I saw
Oh
it
yes, that
on,
was CA3D. Yeah, they made that.
it was
D him
dope, man.
up.
They do some good stuff too.
Well, the problem is when I tried to buy it, I had no idea what I was doing. But it got so confusing. I was like, "Am I getting something that's gonna look like this? Do I have to assemble it? Do I have to paint
On
it?
the file,
There's
you
so
got
many options." Yeah,
Yeah.
I just gave up.
Hey, I want to have a cool question for Gabe. You have a custom group, or do you take commissions, paint commissions?
I take commissions and stuff like that, and maybe a couple other things that I probably shouldn't say on this stream. So,
Okay, yeah, I got you.
allegedly. So,
Allegedly.
yeah. No, I mean, I like to do Mortal Kombat stuff. So, so like any of these deals that are out there, that's my thing. So, I mean, I love the X-Men and Ninja Turtles and all that, but I mean, MK is just close to my heart from when I was a kid. So,
Yeah.
But you have intricate knowledge of the entire process from, I guess, sculpting all the way up to, final paint, I guess, of a statue.
yeah, I might. So,
Gotcha. I understand the discussion.
Real quick, I'll start showing some of the pictures that you guys sent me. Half Dead. These are yours. You see this?
That was almost a year ago too, man. I could do that better now, but
that's good.
What size is that?
that's like I want to say between 1/4 and 1/5.
Okay. Like 4.5.
So I do like how you did say that I could do it better. Like, what could you do better? This looks great to me.
Yeah, it was good.
It's just things that, like now, like I remember that piece and just how to get more of that natural teeth looking. I would have added more colors in the noodling underneath Hawk. Just the base as far as because with that I kind of just did like a real dark brown, some black, and then I did like gray, dry. Like I can make the rock look a little bit more realistic now. Same thing with the mud and stuff underneath. And I mean that's all part of the hobby, just getting better and seeing things you improve on. You know?
So have that as you say that, you know, like you talk about, you know, your growth from a year ago to now. What point in your paint career do you think you're at as far as how much potential you have to get much better? Like, are you in the beginning phase, in the middle?
No,
You know,
I would say I would even I would say you're gonna always be a student. You're always gonna be learning, and you never know it all. You know what I mean? Like, even though I might have a nice way I do skin tone. Like, I give you an example, right? I really like how I do brown skin tones, right? I felt like it was, even with other custom pieces, licensed pieces, I feel like they didn't get brown tones done right. So it's like I didn't really sat there, studied, but it's like when you're really involved in it, it's like you don't sit there and be like, all right, I got this down and this is what, like, you always looking to get better and improve and, you know, to sell that realism.
Gotcha.
This is good.
Yeah, that was a repaint. That was actually a repaint.
I like the different reds on that one.
Ooh. I like this.
Matt, you gotta give me some of them photography tips, man. I'll be trying.
I got all the toys though. But you don't need. You know, I keep a little photo studio set up in one of my rooms in my house, so I've got all my lights and stuff. But you can get really good results. For a while there, I was just using my desk lamps to show people that you can get good results with your desk lamps. You know how to set your phone up and stuff in the settings. But that photo looks great. I mean, the previous one had a lot of yellow in it, but I know which colors. I can tell the colors are good there, and I can see all the details.
Yeah, this looks really good.
This sculpt has a lot of detail. I just noticed that on the suit.
All the lettering.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hieroglyphics. Is this a 3D print?
Yeah, I print it.
Yeah, I like that. That's killer,
Yeah,
man.
this looks really good. Yeah.
And the guy that did it, I use him for a lot of commissions too, is FP Artworks. And that's another thing, right? Because I think y'all last live, it was one of them lives y'all was talking about getting commissions done, and some, you know, like you got sculptors that would charge $1,500, right? And then you got guys that would charge you $200, right? And it seemed like 90% of these sculptors come out of South America. All the sculptors come out of South America.
I noticed that.
Yeah. So it's really just depend on their name. So I'll give you an example, right? Please don't hate me when I say this. I use Daniel Bell as an example. Awesome sculptor, right? But I feel he's overrated because I know guys right now. Like, I give you an example. I feel like
I actually feel the same way.
Casual about to go
overrated.
ballistic.
No, South America right here.
That background was amazing. But in general, I have the same sentiments.
Yeah, but just in skill wise in general, I mean, if you get on some of these forums, on these Reddits, like you got a lot of guys that's trying to make a name for themselves, just trying to find work that is just as good.
So can I ask you, like, what do you like if you're commissioning a sculptor? Because I get asked a lot about, people assume that I'm a producer. They, hey, how much is a Wolverine? Can I order that? It's like, well, I didn't make it. I just built and painted it. So I sent them to Franco or, you know, Eric Sosa, those guys, but they start $5,000 to $7,000. That's where they start.
You know what I was, you know that they got a Facebook page too. It's called We Are Collectors.
Oh yeah, I'm in there.
So they post a lot of work in it. Mm-hmm. Most of the time they're gonna always post a sculptor and just start looking at their sculptors, see how much followers they got, see their work, and just hit them up. And that's how I start finding new sculptors.
Yeah. Without naming names, what on average, what are you paying for a sculpt?
On average, the most expensive I'm paying now is about $600.
Yeah, that's crazy reasonable.
That's pretty good, man.
The guy that made this, he does a lot of my work. He charged about $350.
That's good. I'll have to hit you up later because I get asked all the time for like. I just got asked today for someone to do. Speaking of street, I know you're talking about Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter wanted me to do a. Oh my gosh, who's the blonde-haired dude, army dude? Can't think of his name.
Kyle.
Yeah, Guile.
Sonic Boom.
So I need to. Yeah, I'll talk to you later about reaching out to some of those sculptors.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I get asked all the time. I don't, obviously I don't sculpt, but.
I would say from my experience though, with dealing with sculptors, I mean, like the men are a lot easier to sculpt. Like it's worth paying for a good female sculpt if you're depending on where you want to take it. Just because their anatomy is just so much harder to get away with, like certain errors or like.
It's got to be more subtle.
It's
gotta be way more
very
subtle.
finessed and
it's
feminine
easy to
and
make
stuff
them look like
that.
men.
So they're worth paying for that. But even then, I mean, like you said, yeah, some people are overpriced in their market and like, dude, I know you're good, but come on, man, let's be real. Let's be friends.
We should start a petition against basketball boobs. That's just my thing.
Yeah, I hate how they over sexualize the female.
Basketball boobs are dumb.
Get them out of here.
What about milk boobs? Is that okay?
But even got you even it's female sculptors too, and it's even sculptors that just they only stick to females. That's not. When you start getting them $1,000, you're really paying for their name and their reputation.
I heard somewhere that Caleb charges 10. You know, those are the first times I ever started paying prices, and I thought that was the average. I thought like average. I didn't know it could go as low as below 1,000. Like,
Nah, you paying for that?
I think a lot of collectors think that. I think they have this idea that getting somebody to actually sculpt a piece for you is just an unattainable thing because it's just always super expensive.
It's just
So
being
now-
part of that community.
Yeah, it makes sense now. I had no idea. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I would say maybe 4 or 5 years ago when the 3D printing it's been around forever, but I would say in the past 4 or 5 years it's becoming really more affordable for people to do it at home or things like that. I think any serious model builder or anyone like that is going to have several 3D printers in their arsenal at some point, small or large. But I'd say back 4 or 5 years ago when I was starting to get asked about doing like one-offs, like one of one, I'd say, okay, well, you're looking at 10 grand minimum between the sculpt, the printing, and the painting and building. But that's because I was talking to the well-known sculptors and asking them, what do you charge to sculpt?
I always started off on a 3D printing side of things. So I'd be seeing what guys paying for these statues. I'd be like, oh my God, how do y'all pay all that? I can hire somebody to sculpt something that I would like more.
Oh, man. I feel like you took shots, man. I think I felt some shots with
Nah, it's all, but I'm saying that. I mean, that's why this.
So I'm looking at this Mr. Freeze statue, right? Yeah. Is snow hard to paint for you guys? Like, I see either snow is either done really like frost is either done really, really good or it doesn't look good at all.
It's an art.
The easy way to get around that is put snow on and not have to paint it. Make snow and put it on.
See, what I do, I use that Vallejo. They have like the stuff for the dioramas.
Yep.
I will add 5-minute epoxy to it and whip it real good so air up and just dab it on.
Just dab it on.
It's rock solid.
Yeah, I use the Scenic Snow flakes, whatever, but I mix it with medium modeling paste. And so my time constraint is a lot longer. I've never tried the 5-minute epoxy, but it's depending on how much snow you put in there depends on how fluffy it is. But it's the same process. You just whip it up and then just get a shitty brush and start dabbing it on there.
Yep. So like even this piece here, I know, mind you, I know they had a line going around that they're doing that autos off of that one guy's artwork, and this was actually a sculptor made this. I think it's probably, he might have it on CG Trader for like $15, but I think it's better than that Miles that they just came out with.
Yeah, there's one where he's eating a pizza.
I think he's holding the basketball.
Oh, okay.
Are those torsos swappable?
The torso swap out, yes.
Yeah.
It looked nice though. I can't remember what
There's a
the-
question right there. Like, how's Chrome for you guys? Do you guys like painting Chrome, or do you guys hate Chrome?
Hate
It's
it.
tedious. Like
Hate it, hate it, hate it.
it's going to take a week just because you got to let everything dry and cute. Like, yeah.
I was teaching myself how to do spray chrome about 3 or 4 years ago. I bought all the chemicals and stuff. I have a YouTube video of it. I was semi-successful. I got chrome. The trick is you have to have like a super clean environment.
Yep.
And if any normal painter, your environment is not clean. Like my spray room was like there's shit everywhere.
That's a really
But that's like if you like use Creations in Chrome, any of the factories are using spray chrome. It's real chrome, and they're putting a automotive 2K on top of it, clear coat. So you're getting real chrome. For paint wise, you can get really close. Are you using the Molotov on this, or what is this?
Oh, I used the Spastics.
Oh yeah, that's good too. Yeah.
So the Spastics, and then I had used Createx. You know the 4030, the balancing clear.
Okay.
I used
Yeah,
that.
it's water based. Yeah.
Yeah, but I missed over it like so thin. Maybe I had to do it at least 10 times. And then I went over it with the Aqua
Aqua
Gloss.
Yeah.
And then you let that dry for a day or two, and then I went over with 2K.
2K.
And
Okay.
like when I went, the 2K helped brighten it back up.
Yeah. It's got a lot more reflectivity to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. This one was good too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool stuff, man.
Yeah, and that's right. I got that commission. I paid $350 for it and printed it right at home.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Have you cleaned it up after that? Straight out the printer.
Say that again?
Did you do any cleanup work to it, or is that straight out the printer?
Oh, that's straight off the no. I didn't do no cleanup. So you'll probably see like little support marks, and you gotta go in there with a Dremel, and sometimes it'd be little spots that you might add some putty to, and take like a brush or something to mimic material. I had spots where like the face might mess up, and I gotta sand it down. And you will use my glove. You know, the glove got a texture to it that's just that mimics that skin, the texture they use when they sculpting.
Yeah,
it's always going to be something you're gonna always have to clean up. Like even like the base is in 2 parts. You know, you gotta go in there and blend that, and
yeah. I'll make texture stamps. So
with the silicone putty,
you can get a 2-part silicone putty and get a Hobby Lobby, knead it together, and you got about 10 minutes. And so like the first Sandman I did, there was a really significant like layer shift in his shoulder, so I had to sand it smooth. But then all the texture went away. So then I went in with my texture stamp and putty and fixed it as best I could. The hard part is getting that pattern to line up, like especially on a shirt. But yeah, so this is a good example. This is an example. You get a print and you still have to do all the prep on it. So
yeah, I think that's like 80% of the work is prep.
Yeah,
Prep.
it can be. Yeah.
Keeson wants to know what, like, for you guys individually, what's the hardest thing for you guys individually to paint? Like, is there something that you guys struggle with, or
fur for Matt?
What was that?
No, I was just saying I know Matt dealt with fur. Yeah, go ahead.
Me personally, number one's always going to be chrome.
Yeah.
You can actually make a chrome really easy. The trick is protecting it. So you can get the chrome look out of a rattle can. It's protecting it. That's the hard part. And then skin tones are always going to be the hardest, in my opinion, because it's really easy to make them look wonky. That's my opinion.
What about you, guys?
I'm trying to think. For me, I would say I gotta agree with Matt on the chrome, because I mean I could do a Colossus piece and do another Colossus piece and just something's just off. I learned to get comfortable with skin tones because I was so scared of it when I started. So when I used to print pieces, I'm printing like 5 extra heads, and I'm just sitting there practicing. I won't leave my cave until I'm decent with the results I got.
Yeah. It's still kind of hard to do, but
there's
a lot of good applications out there. Like I love the Sideshow stuff that they released on like painting skin tones, like their Superman and stuff. I was like, oh man, that's pretty neat. Like using the inks and stuff. I never would have thought of that.
So after that, I started doing that, and my skin tones like went from okay to much better. Yeah. They're still not great, but they're compared to a few years ago, they're way better.
Nelson asked, have any of you ever worked with translucent resin to make something like Iceman or Invisible Girl from the Fantastic Four?
I did. I mean that Mr. Freeze, his his helmet, that was clear resin. I sprayed that with 2K. The glasses right here on this Maxim, that was clear resin. But when it come to printing them at home, it's going to be challenging because you're not going to have a printer big enough to print it at one part. So it's like, unless you like cast it in one part and then mold it in clear resin.
Yeah, I think I haven't done a lot of clear resin stuff. Say the one thing I did that was, I think is of significance, of a buddy of mine who's a kit producer, Blackheart Models. He did a bust of oh my gosh, again my brain doesn't work right now. The dark saber.
Mm-hmm.
I printed all the dark sabers in black clear the blades for him for his kit.
Yeah. And then another thing, if you print in clear resin at home, depending on what size it is, if you're doing hollow, you're gonna have all the supports in the inside.
Yeah.
I actually live next to a painter. Like I don't know if you guys know. I'm just gonna say his first name, so I don't like beer. But his name is Nick, and he tells me like whenever like he applies paint. I don't know if this is true for everyone. It's like always apply the darkest tone you can first, and then go light.
That's good, man.
I think that's subjective.
That's subjective, yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll go dark. Sometimes I'll build light to dark. I'll build dark to light. It depends on how I'm feeling on the piece.
This looks really sharp, man. That looks great.
Yeah, I was gonna say this looked good, man. The skin tone on this.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I have to pick your brains on that one. That looks great.
I like how you did the 5 o'clock shadow on it.
Yeah, that looks good.
Wait, Matt, you use pan pastels?
Say again?
Do you use pan pastels?
I do. So I haven't been using them a whole lot, but I do. I have them. I've kind of fluctuated between pastels. So right now, most of my skin tones is, I would say 90% of it's airbrush. So even the shading is going with airbrush, and then layers and washes and flecking and stuff. But I haven't used them in a while. I kind of got away from them.
Oh man, those been a game changer, even with shadow. Because sometimes I find myself not even airbrushing shadow and using it.
No, yeah. So when I first discovered them, and for a while I just used oils on my faces. I was just doing oils, and I like them, but it just takes a long time. It's a much slower process. Yeah. But the pastels for a while there, I would do. I'd put a base coat of skin tone, and everything else was pan pastels.
That's what I'm working on.
This is an interesting take on Apocalypse. It's like an old school, like Egyptian.
Yeah, that Pharaoh style. Yep.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, so I should have them finished up tonight. Tomorrow.
I love the paint on
you can see this is a newer paint that you've done, right?
Yeah.
You can see you've gotten a lot better over time.
You probably see it.
Yeah, the oak that you did compared to this.
Yeah, when I sent you the pictures, I was driving home, so my lady just went on the phone and just did a whole bunch of stuff.
This looks good.
This is really nice. I like this a lot.
So props to the ladies.
Great.
Look at that. I've never seen this before.
That again, that was a group for STL, like this artist. I think his name is Arthur, and sometimes he want try to gather 30 people. Everybody, the more people, the less it will be, and everybody will have their opinion on how the scope go. And then once it's done, everybody get the STL and print and paint and go about their business.
What size is this?
That's 1/4.
Okay, wow, that's dope.
And they got the head switch outs. Yeah.
So with paint, when it comes to are you guys in close contact with the customer, I guess, and say hey, I want his jacket to be dark blue, a dark color. I want his skin tone to be blue.
It's different.
Gray.
You got some people that's real specific on what they want, and then you got people that be like, you know what, just do your thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you guys?
The ones that say do your thing usually get better work.
Exactly.
I'm serious.
Yeah, because it's more pressure when they're giving you this. I want the jacket to have this kind of sheen and that. It's it's pressure versus when you're painting, and anything you do, it could be paint, whatever you do. When you're just in your zone, everything will flow more better and naturally. Than when
it's more enjoyable too.
Yeah,
that makes a big difference. Mm-hmm. So I've got a few clients that are really specific. I've got my main client who's been paying my mortgage for the most part for 4 years. pretty much lets me do what I want. He'll give me some references, and then he's like, here's my vision. Just do your thing based on this. I've got one client in particular that doesn't know what he wants until it's done. They usually cost him more because they have to go back and redo stuff. So the problem with that is that he thinks he knows what he wants. I'll do it, and then he'll ask all his friends, and all his friends will give him their opinion.
Yeah.
And then he comes back like, "Hey, I was talking to my buddy. He thinks we should do." He's like, "It's up to you, man. I bill by the hour, so I'm happy to unbox it and do that part over for you."
Oh, that's the worst because then you got max stuff off. That wasn't.
That's why I bill by the hour, because any changes adds to the bill.
How can I get this outside?
When something's been approved and they change it, it adds to the bill.
Yep.
How can I get this Valzai? That's
You get
all
that
I
3D
need
print
to know.
CA that was sculpted by Ederson, and that was made by CA 3D Studio. That Valzai.
I really like the texture on the hair. The texture on the hair is
Man, this
really
thing
on.
looks good. Like, I'll rock this piece.
That's
I like the suit on. I like the suit on that one. Oh, there's the Bishop you're talking about.
Yeah,
The LEDs.
I start adding LEDs and stuff.
Yeah, I
That's
haven't
amazing.
seen anybody do this yet with that Bishop.
Yeah.
So it's good.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Nice job.
You don't by chance have switches that make LEDs like give that breathing effect, do you? Because I'm actually customizing a Sub-Zero. You know that bus that PCS made a long time ago, the MKX one?
Okay.
His mouth lights up. But what I want to do is put a chip in there where it makes a breathing effect with his mouth. So I'm researching that right now, in fact, to try to get that.
Yeah, you
going.
probably need to look at Arduino. Get an Arduino
Oh,
switch.
that's too much work. I just want a simple
That-
chip. So,
Yeah, I don't know. There might be. I don't know. I'm not real well versed in LEDs. There may be a much simpler solution to it than.
I'm
than
hoping
that.
there is. So I don't want to become a
Look up.
associates in
I'll send you a
electrical
link. I'll send you a link in the private chat to a place I use to buy stuff, and they can help you out.
Okay, cool.
That LED in the arm, man, looks really good. It's gonna
looks
look
amazing.
sick.
That's a good
It's gonna
job.
look sick when it's painted.
Yo, that arm, I probably worked on that arm, no lie, just to get the lights in right on that more than 3 hours. Like I would work on it, and the LEDs will be too close to the top or too close to the bottom, so you can see the light. And I just kept having to come back to it until the light sat right in there. Because I mean, it's a hollow piece, but you gotta go in there and play with it. Yeah.
Reach out to them, Gabe, and see if they can help you.
All right, we'll do that. Appreciate it.
Who's this character? I don't know.
That's
him.
Battlestar.
Battlestar.
Yeah. And that's crazy because that was actually my first time. I thought I knew what I was doing when it came to darker skin tones, but I some other pictures in there with more recent ones. But and that was a commission. I got that piece commissioned. I paid $150. That guy was actually I found him on Reddit through ZBrush page forum. I paid $150 for that scope.
Well, that's good right there. That Sandman. Man.
Yeah.
That's great texture.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was wicked.
This is wicked, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell by the base. Just look at the base. But other than that, it's a good sculpt too.
Oh, I like this.
Oh man, it's cool.
Oh yeah. You know that Invincible got a big wave right now.
Yeah, I like the show a lot. Yeah, you can definitely tell how much you've progressed since some of the earlier pictures that you sent me. I like this Apocalypse. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's it. Just straight painted. Printed.
Whew.
It's pretty cool, Deadpool.
Nice Deadpool. I like it.
You got Beast's.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
That's great. That's a cool concept.
You'll never see this unlicensed.
Oh, definitely not. They were like, oh hell no.
That's funny though.
Yeah, so my little interaction with lights and stuff has been, it's some of it's cool, but for the most part, it gets it's very repetitive.
The skin tone on this man looks really good.
Yeah, that's my most. I had got that commission. That was Blue Marble. So I
Yeah.
went to go for the likeness. The creator of Blue Marble is actually Kevin Grievous. You ever seen the movie The Underworld?
Yeah.
You know Riz?
The guy that talks funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
the big
yeah,
the big dude.
Yeah, he's actually the one that created Blue Marble.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
This looks good.
Didn't they just cast somebody as Red Hulk in the Marvel MCU movies?
Yeah, Harrison Ford.
Oh,
The guy who's playing Ford passed away, Thunderbolt Ross. So Harrison
Ah.
Ford is taking over the role.
all right.
The texture on this sand is so good, man.
Yeah,
It's alright. It's alright. Just kidding.
it's actually I use real sand.
You use real sand?
Yeah. So what I do, I will use like the textured medium, and then I will paint Mod Podge on it, pour sand over it, and you gotta pour it over there like maybe like 4 or 5 times, and then I probably just on that arm I probably use like 3 cans of Rust-Oleum matte varnish, so that sand don't go nowhere.
It's crazy. Dr. Doom. This is good.
Do you have more pictures of that one right there on your Instagram?
I do, I might, but I actually got it right here.
I got you. Wow, look at that. That looks great, man.
I like the concept on that. It's cool.
Yeah.
This was actually from a buddy of mine got this private commission, so only me and him got it.
$20 right now.
25.
Hey man,
Nice.
where can I buy the STL? Where can I get the STL? Where's the STL? Link.
Oh, that's a
STL.
dope apocalypse too. I like that one too.
So I didn't get to paint it yet. Remember the guy I told you, Arthur, the one that did that Sabretooth? He did that Apocalypse too.
I see you're a sneakerhead, huh?
I was gonna say
Oh,
Travis Scott's, man. I'll trade you some right now.
Yeah, man. That was my another hobby before painting. Now I just buy paint. Just lacquer.
What's this guy's name?
Come on.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, that's
Man.
great stuff. I've never
That's
seen
what-
any of these. Not even custom produced.
Watch your mouth.
I know.
Watch your mouth.
I mean, he puts a lot of his stuff up in custom produced, but we haven't seen all of these though.
Mhm.
I do want you. Oh, that's the 8-man I had got commissioned.
8 man?
8-man. Umbaku.
Oh, okay.
Before him, yeah, 8-man.
This is like one of those statues you'd have to like have like a light shining above it,
Yeah.
like how it is right here, like to cast the shadows. It looks good.
man, this is dope, man. They're just getting better and better.
Mhm. And that's from Dead Studio.
Man,
R.I.P.
Yeah, definitely.
We said we'll have AI where just be like, hey, sculpt me, Superman flying through the air, punching Batman or something like that. And then
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so-
just did that right now.
3D modeling.
Yeah. But make sure you add.
Yeah, how do y'all feel about AI art, AI sculptures? Nah.
It,
I like what you did here on the shield with the
Yeah,
scrapes and the scratches and everything.
it's like I look at some of these sculptors, right? Like I got some guys, like I said, right? You could get guys from 150 to all the way to 1500. But one thing I notice about the sculptors that charge less, they're so grateful, man. And I know
Mhm.
how much work and time it takes to do that. And just that AR to come and just take that out of their pockets, you know what I mean?
I'm ready to like convert all my statues over to like these STL file statues because like everything I'm seeing is just dope. It's getting better and better.
Yeah.
Like we'll never get an Isaiah Bradley or you know what I mean. Probably not even a Blue Marvel from any licensed companies. Like that Deadpool with the Beast. Like we'll never see the likes of those types of statues from the licensed companies.
I had to go with a yellow fire hydrant. Everybody use red.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I like what you did with it, like the like
Yeah, I
the
like
paint
it too.
on it.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's a lot of good detail.
that's nostalgic right there.
So with that, I had took Wicked's Kingpin, and I had got a John Duncan head I found off. I think it was like CG Trader, and so I dibble and ZBrush a little bit, so I just did a head swap out of because I was born in '93, so when I first seen Daredevil with me, I knew it was John.
Yeah.
That was a good movie. I like that movie. I don't know why people crap on it all the time.
I'm over here plotting on how I'm gonna get that Valzad, man. I'm getting it some way.
Yeah.
Hey Matt, you good, man? You got any questions? No, I'm sorry. I was talking to the other Matt.
Other Matt.
What?
No, I was just saying, you good? How you feel about the paintwork from these guys?
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it very much so. Matt, I've chatted with you before, but my first time actually seeing you and talking with you. So, and I've been following for a long time, man. Love your work.
Thanks.
Yeah, and you the other two guys, man. Hey, I'm just enjoying it, man. Yeah, I'm all in. I mean, you know me. For a minute.
Cool, man.
Well, that's all the pictures for Half Dead. Let me pick up the other ones for Gabe.
Dwayne, I sent you a message.
So what do you see yourself taking your careers as far as like, Matt, I know you're a full-time painter now. Is that pretty much what you want to do, or how much longer do you see yourself doing it for? You know?
I'll do it as long as the work keeps coming in. I'll keep doing it. Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky. I've got half a dozen clients that keep me busy. So, that's beautiful.
Matt, I trade you some sculptors for some photography tips.
Man, this looks good, right?
I'll give you tips for free. These photos are better than my photos, man. Ask Gabe.
Oh,
These are renders. These are renders.
Those are renders. That's why they look so amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! I never saw that.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is my personal favorite, right?
I like this. I like this.
this is my genre: Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken.
Same. I don't like the Tekken, but Mortal
Look
Kombat
at-
and Street Fighter.
Look at Goro in the back. That's cool too. The little
Yeah, that's
statue.
got you.
Yeah.
What size is this gonna be? Or is it, Gabe?
I mean, it could be printed at any size. I typically like to do my stuff at 1/4 just so it matches everything else. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
we're still finishing up some touches on it. He actually has a bunch of swap outs for his hands because the way his raps do it works really well. So he's got the number one finger, and then he
Okay.
also has like a number one
Number
finger.
one.
Like, yeah, I'm Johnny Cage, number one. His other hand, his left hand, he's holding the trophy, but he also has Shao Kahn's hammer that he's holding, and another one he's holding an energy ball. So, but we're still working on it a little bit. And I like my males like roided out, like they do steroids every single day. So I grew up in the 90s with the comic books and all that just had all the unnecessary pockets on the belts and everything. So it's just my
I
thing.
always wonder what were they putting in those pockets? Like, I never seen any comic books where they're taking anything out, like Cyclops. He had
Yeah.
all those pockets, but he never took anything out.
Well, his son Cable had even more. So
Yeah.
probably was keeping all his ammo. I don't know. So it looked cool. That's all that matters. So
His visor repair kit, Giant.
Visor repair kit.
Nice. Oh, man, these are all dope.
I'm pretty sure I own a few kits from you, Gabe. I got Wonderfest.
yeah, you might. You got the Brazilian booty right there. So
Yeah.
what I do also with my MK statues is I actually like to incorporate a stage in the base.
yeah.
So like that one's Deadpool right there. With the chain and all that kind of stuff, the floating skull when you uppercut him into the acid.
Wait, Deadpool from like Marvel Deadpool?
No.
No,
The
the
name of the
stage.
stage is
The
Deadpool.
stage.
So in the MK universe.
Yeah, I like bases that got Easter eggs in them.
Oh man, I love Easter eggs. Those are my favorites. So
Riptide.
can't always find them all. I tried to find a print of this one. We've actually Bond printed me out one, but I couldn't find the picture of it in time. But this is actually a design that I came up with myself and stole a little bit of artwork from somebody else. Whoever they were. Thank you. So
These are all
but
dope.
I love Reptile. So
Yeah, he's a good, cool character.
and I had a one of my good Brazilian sculptors that charges really good, super nice guy. Like he does really good work, is modifying all that kind of stuff. He did me a swap out head, and the sculpt looks almost exactly like that. So with even more detail. So, but what I want to try to do is because I don't know what's going on with the licensing right now with Iron Studios, like because they have a 1/10 MK line. And they haven't produced anything in like 2 years, so it's kind of like, guys, I want to buy from you, but what's
Well, they actually revealed a Johnny Cage recently. And
I know, I saw that. Yeah,
And then they
but
shipped it, I have the Sonya Blade and I have the Baraka on order as well. But yeah, there has been a lot of gaps in time in between that line. Like,
I've got them all too. My Baraka came in about 2 months ago, so it looks pretty good. But they haven't done a Reptile yet, so I was like, well, forget it. I'm just going to do my own then. So that's my boy Sub-Zero on a throne. That's probably my favorite MK character, though, if we had to go. Like the first guy I ever did when I accidentally did a fatality at the arcade, and I was like, you just rip his head off? It's like, I don't know how I did that, but that was awesome. So
I like how you did that on throne without it being the size of your living room.
Yeah.
well, if you print it at 1/4, it probably will be. So
that's the MK9 suit, right?
the Sub-Zero?
Yeah.
No, that's Deception. So that's the Shredder look. That's what that's probably his best costume. The only one that comes close is the MKX costume. I really love that one too. So, but again, it was something that I just drew up in my head and wrote it down on paper and then gave it to my sculptor. I was like, hey man, can you make this happen? And then he's been making adjustments and all that kind of stuff. So I still need to get him to cut and key it so I can print it out.
That's really good.
Lovely Jade. I think there's some Melina and Katana photos I sent you as well.
Okay. Right here.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's dope.
It's made its rounds recently.
She's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon.
It's glass eyes too,
Glass
and metal
eyes.
weapons. So
I think these are better than PCS's 1/4. I know they did 1/4 and 1/3, right?
yeah, well, I wouldn't say that because Ant might be watching the stream, so and I love him. So he's a good guy.
Well, no shade to Ant.
No,
But
Ant's a
we're
really
so-
good guy, and I mean, if you want to know more of the backstory on that, like it's the licensors that are being issued like turds about everything. So, which is unfortunate, because you have so many fans out there that definitely want this stuff.
Man, that's beautiful out there.
Yeah, that looks nice.
Yeah.
I will
Like
say
like
that
the
the
pose.
females you should pay more for sculpts. So, you know,
Should be
Not
fun
like-
to paint.
$5,000, but
Yeah.
This
they're
is
worth their weight in gold. So that's Hanzo, by the way, that sculpted that. He's awesome.
That looks nice too.
Now that's actually a prototype right there. So
Who
it's
painted?
not a render or anything.
Who was the painter for it?
I don't actually know his name. So I know his wife's name, May. So, but his name I don't actually know. But he did a great job. So shout out to him.
I'm not going to ask how you know that.
Yep. You don't need to.
No, no, like me.
No, that was all the pictures for Gabe. So Matt's.
That's great stuff, man. That's a dope line, man.
I've seen your stuff before, like MK stuff. Like I
Yeah,
think
I'm
we
hoping to
should.
take it pretty far because there's characters that have never been made, and like Smoke or Cabal's never been made.
What about new?
I would love a good Kano statue if I could figure out the LED part, because I mean those are always difficult, like the heart rip thing. That's always like so neat. So that's the only redeeming quality of this newest the newest Mortal Kombat movie they released in 2021 is Kano. He was just fun to watch. So, my opinion, anyways. You might have a different one. That's okay. You can be wrong.
Harrison Ford.
This is Matt stuff.
Yeah.
What's that movie?
What's that?
What's the movie
What
that he's
character?
portraying there?
This is Deckard from Blade Runner.
Come
Okay.
on, man.
I had it on the tip of my tongue. I really did. I just saw the newest one with
This is
what's Ryan
Barbie
Gosling.
guy.
this is my favorite portrait I've ever done.
Okay.
Yeah,
Looks
this
nice.
was a killer kit. I think they only made 20 of these kits. I got the last one.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a 1/6 scale, small.
Well,
This is dope.
This
Yeah, that's a Naren Predator kit. It's my first Predator I've ever done.
I like this a lot.
Yeah, that looks nice. I like that. Yeah, I remember watching your videos doing that, putting that together.
This is Coruscant, right?
No, it's 1/6 scale.
1/6. Wow.
Samurai Predator. All right.
Yeah, so it's called the Shadow Elixir. It's the name of the sculpt. Naren out of Korea.
That is really nice.
I heard they're making another Predator movie based in the Shogun era. So, because they did
Oh,
so well
really?
in Native American. So,
Yeah, but shoot
Oh
what
yeah,
you're
so
doing.
they're doing Prey 2, right?
Yeah.
That's a wicked 3D.
How was painting that base?
I've
Huh?
seen some good beasts.
How was in that base?
It was a bitch.
That's the only thing with Wicked, them bases, man. It's nice, but
I think for that one, the only thing I airbrushed was the flames. Everything was hand painted, just because I mean the masking was. I don't think I did any masking on this, to be honest. It had been too much work, too much time.
ooh, this is cool. I saw this one.
Oh yeah, I just finished him. There's a front photo. I guess they're not in order.
Yeah, they
Uh,
just put
There's
it
a 1/5 scale Judy. I put a working TV in the head of that robot,
Oh, wow.
Jetsons.
so my client can watch the Jetsons on the little TV.
Wow.
Wow.
I had it, and I lit the tail lights.
I watched a lot of your YouTube on this one.
Yeah.
Nice one.
You guys ever put any? You guys ever put any like synthetic plants or artificial moss or anything like that on the bases, or do you take it to
I
another
haven't.
level with that?
I only
haven't.
did it. That Dr. Doom I had, I used moss, but then I went over it with washes. But other than that, I really don't like that synthetic plant look. Because it's not.
Especially in quarter scale, the scale wouldn't fit. So stuff you get out of the store, it
Yeah.
wouldn't scale correctly.
Like you
So
just better getting it sculpted to that piece and painting it.
or going out in your yard and finding real stuff. And I know guys that collect sticks and leaves out of the yard, and they keep it and they incorporate in their dioramas.
This is the safety you got, right? D3.
Yeah. That was a kit you painted though. Mine was factory painted.
Yeah, this is a kit version. That was a fun piece to do. He's huge. The base was a lot of fun.
That
Nice.
main must have took a long time, huh?
The what?
The main.
No, actually pretty quick. It's all hand painted.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main's pretty quick. The longest part is on this one was masking off the yellow after it was painted. It's all done with masking tape, masking to do the brown.
I love this statue right here. This Punisher.
Yeah, that was sick. That was
Yeah.
sick. You posted that. That's sick.
These photos are out of order, but that's okay.
Yeah.
The Punisher actually has blue highlights in the black. You can't see it in the photos, but it's in person. As you rotate in the light, you'll see little blue highlights on the muscle.
You can actually see it on his tricep right there.
Yeah, it's very subtle.
Which tricep?
Nice.
The tricep under, tricep. No kidding. That's a huge.
Upper.
Yeah, that looks great. I love the book bag. To be honest, the greens.
Yeah, I like the bag.
I saw this video that you did with this Magneto. That's awesome.
This is my favorite Magneto. I love it. This is a Daniel Bell sculpt, but I love it. It's my favorite bags. I love the base. I love everything. It's very dynamic. Oh yeah, it's Samurai Wolverine. This guy took fucking forever.
I think the best paint job on this Wolverine.
That was 6 weeks of work.
Looks good.
Took forever. I remember that.
The armor, the yellow armor, was 70 hours of painting just for the armor.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
So that paid your mortgage for the whole year then, right?
It was crazy. So I actually counted all the little hash marks and I wrote it down somewhere. It's like there's like 1,000 hash marks, like 700 little X's. And the thing about those, if you look at a lot of paint jobs on this piece, they're 3-dimensional. So each one has 3 or 4 sides. And a lot of paint jobs, they just paint the top of it and they move on. So you get to paint every single side, and then they all have highlights on it. It's all highlighted. So my hand, like after a day of that, my hand, like I literally couldn't use my right hand. It was like crazy. It was so cramped. But yeah, it turned out beautiful. It turned out awesome.
Yeah.
This is a very sought after piece right here.
Very expensive.
Yeah, this is done by that factory that shall not be named.
Yeah, exactly.
The tree was a nightmare. I spent like 3 days just getting the branches not to fall out.
What's that, like red or brown highlights you did on the hair?
Yeah, some brown, like a reddish brown highlights. Yeah, usually depending on. Sometimes I start with a dark brown or black and just dry brush it and build it up. Yeah.
I like how you did I don't know what it's called, but like the undergarment right here.
Yeah.
That's really.
That's all hand. Yeah, so it is all hand painted, all those little details. And it's really cool because as I was painting those details, it's hard to see when it's in primer, but there's little scenes in there. There's like a dragon breathing fire. There's like a bunch of little scenes in that embroidery. It's really cool. You don't see it until you paint it.
This is Sosa Magneto, right?
Yeah, I think I did him in December, right before the end of the year.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I love the color on that, on the aura.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this particular client really likes really pale skin tones. Like, if I put any color in him whatsoever, he freaks out. He doesn't like it. So that Wolverine, the back shot of the Wolverine, that was for him too. Those are front shot there somewhere, but he just likes really pale skin tones.
It's always a plus when the extra heads come with bases.
Hands, yes. This is the He-Man that the base showed up in a million pieces.
Bro, this was just like, you don't even understand.
This is a fun piece. It was cool.
Did Bond print that out?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man,
I remember him posting that.
Yeah, that's a
This was nostalgia for me because I grew up watching He-Man.
I'm number one He-Man fan, man. I'm
an 80s kid, so.
It's like old man He-Man, huh?
Yeah. It's based on a 2D artwork, but my favorite part is Orko.
No, Skeletor Skull.
Yeah, Skeletor's cool, but Orko is. I love seeing Orko.
That's the tiger he used to ride, right?
Battle Cat. And then look at Merman and Cyclops. I mean, like Merman's head down there at the bottom.
You got Cyclops, Merman. That's King Andor with the crown. You got Orko on the backside. It's Trapjaw. You can't see him in this photo. Then you got Skeletor, and then Orko's holding Queen Princess. What's her name? The Purple Queen. Purple headed.
Evelyn.
Evelyn. There you go. Evelyn. Yeah, that's her skull.
Oh man.
There's
I got that Zed Studios He-Man. I chose the beard portrait with him on the Battle Cat.
I love this Punisher. I don't know, something about it.
I got all the good pieces, man.
Yeah, this is a cool piece, man. He was a lot of fun to do. It was the first Punisher I've ever done. I ever did. He was fun.
I like what you do on the base
accessories
with the blood, like the splatters of blood.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so this is like where the client sent me a couple paint ups. and I just kind of mashed them all together. Whenever someone says to me something, hey, I want to look exactly like this, I'm like, well, hire that painter because it's never going to look exactly like that.
Mhm.
But this is a really good client of mine.
So Glass Joe asked, what fine tip brushes do you use? I struggle with keeping them useful. The tips always get bent and mishappens very quickly.
I buy cheap brushes because I'm rough on them. I bought a set of Series 7s, which are, Sable brushes years ago, and I destroyed them like within the first week. So I was like $100 down the drain. So I go to Hobby Lobby when they're half price, I stock up. And when it starts to go, I throw it away.
Yeah, same here. I got these like 00. I can actually show you, and I just on Amazon, it's like for like a pack, like 20 of them is like $6, and I just buy it.
If you're gonna take care of your brushes, invest in Sable brushes. You're gonna spend between $8 and $40 for one brush, but you have to take care of them. And when I'm working real fast, I'll put it down, and then the paint dries. Like, well, shit, I can clean it, but I don't want to spend 2 hours cleaning the damn thing. So I just.
Or you know what always tears my fine brushes up? Like I will use some liquid mask in like a tight area, and it just ain't the same.
Well, then it's trash, yeah.
And then you had mentioned that you started with Gundams, and you're kind of going
back
to it.
So actually, eventually you'll see the very first commission I ever did. I sent you the photo of it, but I did Gundams for 10 years. So these things, and I just did one. First Gundam I had done in 6 years. I just finished it a few weeks ago. I'm waiting for the base to come in that I'm having custom made because it's beyond my skill set. But so I did nothing but Gundams for years. There's one. So I just finished one of these a few weeks ago. This is 1/60th scale. It's about 18 inches tall. 350 pieces of resin.
Wow.
How long did that take?
So the one I just finished, now this one doesn't have lights in it. The one I just did, I lit up all the thrusters. It took 270 hours to build and paint.
Do you have a favorite? You have a favorite Gundam, like a personal one of you? Like, oh man, this was just the best.
I've got a few. Probably eventually it'll come up. It's a big blue and white guy. Probably he's one of my favorites because he's just odd and he was my first commission.
Okay.
That red one you showed was my favorite, probably the best kit I've ever worked on.
All right. I was always partial to Death Scythe, so that was my favorite.
I haven't. I didn't send you one, but I did Death Scythe. Yeah, I've got a master race in my cabinet.
This is a Sosa, right?
Yeah, it's a Sosa Magneto.
I like what you did with his armor. Like you put like the worn.
You walked away for a second. I think he's gonna go grab something. Yeah, we saw this one a couple of times. This one's interesting because of the sand and everything. This one looks crazy.
I think it's better than XM sand.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Oh wow.
That's like, there you go.
Yeah, Glass Show says thanks for the info, guys.
I did real sand on this too. I did it differently though. So I used I found I forgot the brand. Anyway, it's a medium, but it's got granules in it. It's called coarse medium. And so I mixed that with sand, and I also mixed painted with the sand. And I just slapped it on, and then I painted. Once that was all on, then I painted on top of the sand and did all the shading and stuff.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'll take sand from my favorite beach or something like that and put it in a model. That'd be kind of neat.
This is cool.
Yeah, that's dope.
This thing's massive. This thing was huge, man.
Oh
the
goodness.
the waves with nothing on it weighed 65 pounds.
So
holy.
is this the one where you said like when you put it back together, no one noticed something wrong with this one? Like
Yeah. It's right in the middle. You're looking at it right now. It's right in the middle.
Yeah. Does anyone see what's wrong with it? I know what it is, but I don't know if anyone notices it. Something's wrong with this picture right here.
Something's
Is
wrong
it
with
his
it.
feet?
Yeah.
I see the
Nope.
border cracked in the front.
You guys gotta look beyond the
foot.
box.
Yeah, look,
Beyond.
it's a
Bigger
little
picture. Bigger picture. Yeah.
Shark's mouth?
Nope.
Oh yeah.
It's on his clothes.
Oh.
His belt buckle's upside down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah. See, I'm not that big of a nerd. I would have noticed that.
After all that work, I glued the belt buckle upside down.
Yeah.
That would make sense. It should make an A, but that's my lack of knowledge and that kind of thing when I was doing the final assembly.
It looks good like that too, though.
I thought it looked great, so I left.
That sea serpent is amazing.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that pops out of all of it.
It's
Yeah, I like the tones of the shark as well.
The inside of the mouth that looks really like inside of
An orca. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people ask me why has he got black on the inside of his mouth? Because if you look at pictures of orcas, they've got black on the inside of their mouth.
You did your homework.
I did my homework.
Yeah, I've always liked this Magneto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's cool, man.
I like how you did them stones on there.
It's just a great dynamic pose,
Mm-hmm. Is the base kind of like World War II?
Say again.
Is the base kind of like based on World War II?
It's from what I would guess, it's like he's escaping
Concentration camp.
a
That's what I was
concentration
thinking.
camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's his origins, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Galactus.
That's from Xeon Art.
He just got casted too.
Yeah, so that's the front of that guy.
That right there, the base. I'm sure that took a long time to mask because like the blacks and the reds, like you have to tape it, right?
So actually, one thing I do a lot of masking. This one, the only thing that got masked was the center of the X with the red, a little bit of silly putty, and the little highlights on the other side I masked with tape. If you go in the middle of the base, with a little red. But once I sprayed the top of the base red, and I got that sealed, all the grates and all the ribbons, that's all hand painted.
Oh,
And I airbrushed. So I airbrushed. Once I got the red for the top done and the red for the center of the X in the middle, I silly puttied that center X, and then I just real careful with my airbrush and sprayed metallic along that middle band, and then hand painted all the grates and the black bands, and then did all the shading with airbrush, and then the claws are dry brush with some chrome to bring them out. Yeah, very little masking on that.
That's nice.
Back in the day, I would have masked everything, but that's before I started hand painting. When I did Gundams, I never hand painted a damn thing. Everything was masked and sprayed.
I wish people would sculpt more vehicles. Like now, looking at the Wolverines and stuff, I was like, man, I would love a Blackbird sculpt. I think that'd be awesome.
I said the same thing like a couple weeks back. I would love a Blackbird.
All right,
Yep.
well, we'll collaborate together then. We'll pay somebody to do it. So I got 150. You got 150, and I think somebody knows a sculpt for 300.
Yeah.
So it should be good.
Chip in.
I know it's that easy. You got the hat.
Coming out in like 3 weeks. That's going to be done.
What's that?
I got a war pass
That's-
coming.
That's my
Oh,
first
nice.
commission ever right there. That was the first thing I was ever paid to build and paint. That was 2009, I think. 2009.
It's a slug Gundam or something.
It's called the Zeku's Vi. It's just a weird looking mobile suit. And
Oh, you're 100% right. It's weird. So
it's
Like a-
weird looking. It was complicated to build and put together, and I was real happy with it. So my client loved it.
no, it looks amazing. So
This
This is probably in my top 5 favorite pieces I've ever done.
oh yeah, that's a good one.
Secret
nice.
Empire.
Yeah, that's good.
You see the Captain America Creative Collector got on his Patreon? So it reminds me of that one.
He might have this. He might have. You can get this file now. It's out there.
Mhm.
I don't follow Creative Collector because he's a scammer, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
shots fired.
Henry Stewart. Yeah, Henry Stewart. Anyone know who Henry Stewart is?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
I seen the bottom of that spawn base.
Yeah. Exactly.
See, this is
Yeah,
always funny
left.
to me because a lot of people like Sentinel's hands to be blue. You guys went with purple, and I've seen other purple ones too. So I
I've
guess
seen
it's-
them both ways. This is what. Yeah, this was for Gravin Lab. They wanted purple, so we did purple.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool
Gladiator.
Gladiator. Yeah, I've done 2 of these guys. This is an older custom, and for the most part, it's a really cool piece. But the cape weighs a ton.
Capes.
And
Oh, I hate.
what's that?
I said I hate capes, especially like 3D printing them and putting them again. Oh man.
Yeah, this one, like, you have to, in order for it not to lean, or you have to pin the crap out of it on one of the shoulders, and there's very little material in the cape to add any support within it. So the cape weighs a ton on this guy.
I like what you do with the heat, like the cuts right here.
Got that, yeah.
Real-
I stole that from another paint up. I can't take credit for it.
Wow.
I have another one of these kits here for sale to build and paint if anyone's interested.
Oh, the Gladiator.
The Magneto.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me
The
that.
Magneto. No, that Gladiator, man, if you can find one of those Gladiators, you'd be lucky. That's an old piece.
That's
I
I like how Jarhead fast forwarded.
Don't tell me that.
He's like, that Magneto's mine.
I know exactly how I'd want you to paint him too. Oh, man.
seeing this Wolverine been making. I've been on a hunt for a samurai. I'm printing one now, but it's still not with that armor and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a bunch out there. There's a bunch of files, but this one, I think this has the best, armor on it.
Yeah.
It's got the most detail of anyone I've ever seen.
Oh, that's close.
Pyro. This is the first figure I ever did. This is her name is Stella. This is produced by a buddy of mine in Houston. He has a company called Filmies Girls, and he does pinup style chicks. And that was Judy. Judy was from the same kit manufacturer.
Hey, is that the same people that make the Jane Jetson? Like, there's a very heavy-chested Jane Jetson that's been
No,
a bunch of the. Okay.
no, he didn't do Jane. Just Judy so far.
Did you use acrylics on that?
Let's see. For her skin, yes. The pink on her clothes, I think, is an enamel actually, and her hair is enamel because I couldn't find the color I wanted. And then the spaceship, I think I did all clad and did all the shading with different clears and stuff. The base is acrylic. So it's a combination of. I use a lot of Mr. Color paint. That's my favorite paint because it just atomizes. Like, you'll never get an acrylic to atomize like that. It blends really well. But yeah. So I use everyone. What I get asked all the time. What paint do you use? And I tell them. I just say all of them. That's my answer. You name it, I probably use it.
Oh wow, that looks good.
Yeah, that's dope.
This is a big piece too.
Yeah, that hand is freaking huge. I sprayed the hand with automotive paint. I couldn't find the color I wanted, so I went to my automotive paint shop where I get some of my supplies and had them custom mix the main color of the hand, and used automotive and sprayed it through my HVLP gun.
I like how this isn't like fully chrome too. Like I'm not a big fan of chrome on any of my characters. Like it's got like that you can still see the detail and everything on this.
Yeah, so straight up chrome, you can't see anything because it's so reflective. This is what is this chrome? This is so I did a base coat of black, then it did 2K clear on top of the black for the base, and this is Traxxas makes a chrome that's a spray can, and it works great. It's like any other chrome. I didn't seal it or anything, so eventually, if you handle it too much, it will rub off. But I told my client, as long as you just put it on the base and don't mess with him, he's fine. But it's like any chrome paint, unless you seal it, it will rub off eventually.
Those blues look good, man. In the hand, the kind of blues on it, that was dope.
Well, and that was all of Matt's pictures. So
Show my pictures.
Oh,
I got none.
I have a question. Have you found a matte 2K?
You can get it. You just have to go to your paint supply store and you can get it.
Okay.
I mean, I thought about using a matte 2K, but then I gotta wait, 18, 24 hours for it to cure fully.
Yeah, that's
so unless you just need that durability for something.
Yeah.
If you want dead flat, my favorite is all clad flat. It's like dead flat.
You ever try AK, the ultra flat?
I haven't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got
90% of my stuff is sealed with Krylon, the flats, and just in this Ralph can.
Yeah.
And depending on how I spray it, I can control the sheen. So if I want it really as flat as I can make it, I'll just kind of mist it on.
Yeah.
If I want a little more sheen, I put on a little bit wetter. If I want like what's on Punisher, like on his suit, I'll do a mist coat first, let that dry for 30 minutes, and then I'll go put a wet coat on it, and you get that like perfect
sheen,
like vinyl sheen. It's like everyone's like, I don't know how you do it. It doesn't look like plastic, but it's not flat. It's like, man, it's just knowing how to use the product, you know?
Yeah.
Hey Matt, has a licensed company ever approached you about painting for them?
Sideshow did after like me being out in the world for about 2 months. It fell through.
Okay.
So
you said that.
Yeah, so Sideshow approached me. I think I painted like maybe 3 or 4, pieces, maybe 5. I can't remember exactly. It was years ago. And I got an email from Kat, who's their head painter. It's like, hey, we saw your work. Would you be interested in working with us? And this is like kind of when I just was kind of figuring out who they were. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Sounds great. Sounds amazing. And this was when they were really pushing against any custom unlicensed pieces. They were putting out, people were losing their affiliates. They were like, if you had a channel that promoted customs, you can't show Shide Sew stuff. They were going really against the custom world. And so I just like, hey, I realize everything I do is custom unlicensed pieces. Are you guys okay with that? And so they reached out to their legal team. They're like, that's fine. You're not doing big production runs. You're doing, one-offs. And like, yeah, so I'm doing private collections and maybe one prototype here and there. So I read all the legal shit, signed it, sent it back. And then I made a YouTube video like that next weekend, like on a Saturday. It's like, hey, cool. We paint for Sideshow. Really exciting and everything. And I get a call from Kat on Sunday. The next day, it's like, hey, you got to take your video down saying that we're okay with you painting custom pieces, unlicensed pieces. I go, yeah, but you are. We discussed it. Yeah, but you can't say that. It's like, well, you never told me that. So then on Monday, I got another email. It's like, hey, we decided we can't work with you. So we went from like on a Thursday, we want to work with you, to a Sunday, Monday, we can't work with you.
Yeah,
so,
that sucks.
Yeah, I was flattered they reached out to me, and because I was really, really new to this whole statue collecting world, and I was half the time I still don't know what I'm doing half the time. It's just me throwing paint on shit and trying to make it work. But I think I kind of dodged the bullet a little bit there. I know people who paint for them or have painted for them. It's like, man, it's paint by number. I've done a few licensed pieces, and it's paint by number. They give you like a photo, like a 3 or a 2D rendering of the piece, and it's all these psychedelic colors, and it's literally, we need this area, this Pantone color. We need this area, this Pantone color. You got to match it to the paint chip, and then you have no creative freedom because you're dealing with the licensor, so you can't, they're never going to put a bunch of blood on Punisher. They're not going to do stuff like that. They're trying to. So anyway, I think I kind of dodged a bullet. I was flattered that they reached out to me and they, liked my work. So I mean, that was kind of cool.
But then you can't even post none of your work that you paint.
No, you can't. Yeah. And so another thing they told me is that, because if you go to their website, you look at their stuff, they give credit to the sculptor, to the painter. They said, well, we just won't give you credit for the paint since you paint customs and unlicensed pieces. Wow. So my name would never be listed as the painter. Yeah, you can't show. Yeah, you can't show. You can show it after it's been released to the public and for sale. You can show, hey, this is something I painted. But I don't even. If I did that, they may have gotten mad at me for doing that.
Yeah, you can't post it on none of your socials or none of that.
No, not until it's for sale. Yeah, you can't show any work. Because you're signing an NDA.
Yep.
You can't discuss what you're working on or anything like that. So, I did a few pieces for Gaming Heads. I think one saw the light of day. The other two I haven't seen. So, there's a Master Chief on their website. I did the prototype on, but I did 2 others that I can't share because I never saw that they were ever produced. So.
Well, guys, we're about to go into another segment of the show. You guys are more than welcome to stay if you want. We're gonna do like a little combat between a custom statue and a licensed piece. We just kind of like compare and see which one we like the most. So, like I said, you guys are more than welcome to stay and talk smack about which one you like more and which one you hate more, whatever.
Depends who painted it.
What's that? Depends who painted it.
If it's one of my paint jobs, it's amazing. It's the best.
I don't think you painted any of these.
Okay.
Hey guys, I got to take off because I got to get up early, but it was great being here. It was great meeting you fellas. I feel like I sat through a master class. I'll catch the replay tomorrow and weigh in and talk garbage for as far as the verses. So I hope you guys have a good night, man.
Take it easy. Thanks for showing up, man.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, Piggy.
I'm out too. I got to go to work in like 6 hours, so
Gotcha.
I can get about
All right.
4 hours. It'll be good.
Thanks
Thanks you guys for
having
having me on. This was so much fun. Hopefully we can do it again in the future.
Yeah,
Yeah,
appreciate
you
it.
always welcome back, man. All of y'all.
Are you going to Winterfest, Gabe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to go to San Diego Comic Con in 2025. That's my goal. So I got to plan out that far.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I got 3 kids. I mean, I'm not as experienced as Jarhead here.
You'll
with
get there.
bouncing all
You'll
that
get there
life.
eventually.
No, I won't.
Got to keep going at it. That's all.
keep going at it. Make
Yeah,
more.
keep
Okay,
going
I
at
got
it.
you. I got you.
Mortal
Stay off
Kombat.
your wife.
Finisher.
You're so hot there. I can't help myself.
Leave her alone.
All right, peace out, guys. It's
Take it
been
easy,
fun.
man. Thanks. But, all right. Well, like I said, statue combat.
Combat! Attention! You have just entered a battle zone.
It's time for us to find out who's really the best with the freshest crew. No time for words, we're through with that. All there is left is pure combat. Now we're all here, both of the crew. Someone will win, someone will lose, but we must battle to decide. Peace, honor, and pride. We've got the moves, you've got the feet, we've got the power that you see. Experience will give you that, but the test is combat.
Oh,
You guys-
no.
You guys,
Yo, what is that?
No,
Look way over my head. Oh,
that's
Beach Street,
bro. That's
Breaking,
breaking, right?
Breaking
Yeah,
Beach
breaking.
Street. Is that what that was?
okay.
That's breaking. It's breaking 2.
Breaking two.
Not
Oh.
1, but
Well,
2.
now I want to go watch Breaking 1. Like,
Yeah,
holy
I
shit,
was
Breaking?
getting ready to say, wait, that's the Warriors?
I know. Like, I thought at first too. I thought it was the Warriors too, but I was like, nah, I think it was.
No, the tall, skinny Hispanic dude lets you know it's breaking.
That's Ozone.
Yeah, that's right. Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
What was the other guy? What was the other guy? The guy that-
Ozone.
Turbo?
Oh my God.
Turbo. That's what.
We can watch it again if you guys want.
I mean,
Yeah.
You know, I saw that at the
We
movie
can.
theater.
It's like
Well,
it's like two
get the
different
cardboard out.
It's
So-
2 different age brackets right now.
I was on a show last night, right? And this had actually came up where everybody loves this piece, and I don't like. And I get it. It's like that sense of history. It's like that. You know, it was like XM is one of their big pieces,
Their flagship.
but you know, for me, I think it's dethroned by several other statues. You know, I just, but that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people think that this is like the ultimate like Magneto, but I guess we'll find out tonight. So
Oh yeah, that's how we're gonna.
that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna find out tonight. But yeah, so a lot of people said that this statue is a little bit underscaled too. So
Yeah, he's small.
Have you guys ever seen this one repainted? I was always wondering.
I've never seen it repainted.
People are probably afraid to, because this thing used to be really expensive. It's like it was going for like $5-6 grand at one time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If you had the coin.
Well, and what I like about this is the custom head portraits that you can get for it. There's a lot of different customs that you can get, and my favorite was always the one with like the Wolverine slashes across his helmet. I would have, if I ever got this piece, that's what I would have to get. You know, I wouldn't be satisfied without it.
Collectors can't give this piece away now.
I've seen a few people picking it up lately for some reason.
Yeah, Mr. Popo picked one up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw one.
I just think it's a little bit dated now. I think there's a lot of other better ones out there.
Yeah, it do got some age. The age, the paint on it too. The paint, that dullness make it look a lot older too.
I'm just not a fan of throwing pieces, period. I mean, I'm not a big fan of his suit either.
Yeah, the liberties they did with it, like I've seen them do better, like modern takes on costumes. Like I don't care for this one.
But I understand for a lot of veteran collectors, like what this piece meant when it came out, and the significance it holds for XM.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, how long ago did this come out? It was probably what, over 6 years ago? Probably closer to 10.
Yeah,
It's been out for a while. Even I know this one.
You painted one of those?
I have not, but I just know it's been out for a while. That's why I think I was saying like probably 5-6 years ago. He was expensive. If you had the coins, especially, it was crazy expensive for him.
This piece to XM is what Thanos on Throne was to Sasha.
Yeah.
There you go, 2015.
Like you can't deny it's a classic. It's a classic piece. But we were having a discussion about it yesterday on the COC show about a lot of them thought that this was the better statue, and I just don't like the sculpt. Like I understand like it's got that history behind it.
I mean, the one thing I like about I like his pose. It's kind of has a lot of swagger to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was that attitude just in the way he's sitting. So I think that's why people like it so much. Is just
if they would have made it a true quarter scale, I think it would have helped the piece out a lot.
I think it's probably closer to like 1/5 scale.
Yeah,
I know he's a little small if you look at it next to other ones, but yeah, I think a repaint on this would look really, really good.
Yeah,
it just needs more pop.
Yeah, I would say the paint that dull is too dull, but then also is like, I mean, that history factor. How do you like draw the line between newer modern stuff that look good and that piece of history?
And that's the thing too. Like I see, like people will say that statue is the best no matter what. Even a better sculpt, better paint, better detail. The statue's crazier, but they'll say that piece is the best no matter what. And I don't necessarily sign up for that like thought process, I guess.
I mean, they're kind of prisoners of the moment of when it came out. It's not a negative thing. There's people tend to hold on to the historical value of a lot of items, right? No matter how much advancements are made. And this is a clear example of that. So I don't think they're not wrong. You feel how you feel, so you can't be wrong.
Yeah.
And it is, it is a good piece. It's not a bad piece at all. Like I do like it. But like you said, being a newer collector, somebody 2-3 years in, this is not something that appealed to me because of how far statues have come since then. So
yeah.
And then the options nowadays.
There's so many Magnetos.
I mean, Magneto's
there's so many.
one of the top 5 produced characters in licensed. I mean, well, more so custom than licensed, but even licensed, you got your pick of the list for Magneto.
Like example, like the Prime One Hush, that statue hasn't been beat yet as far as Superman goes, right? Like that's a general consensus out there is like Prime One Hush is like the best Superman that's been made. I know a lot of people probably think there's this one and that one that's been made, but like the general consensus is that Prime One Hush hasn't been beat yet. But to me, with this one, it's been beat several times over, but people will still say that this is the best Magneto. So
I think it's like what if Pudgy was here, he would say if you look back at cars, there's that 69 Cadillac.
that classic.
Yeah. People like go like it's what's called last the test of time, whatever.
It got Godfather then. It's Godfather then.
Yeah. So there's that.
The OG.
Yeah. But Yeah, man. Like I've honestly considered this piece, but like when you say it's underscaled, I seen it and I was like, yeah, definitely it's not the right scale. And
Because I know you were looking for a Magneto, right? You were looking for one for a little bit. You said
Yeah.
you were considering this one.
oh yeah, for a good minute, I almost pulled the trigger. And like Matt said, like it was up there in price, but when it hit $2,200 like last year, I was like, that's a steal.
Yeah.
But now it's even
Lower.
lower than
Lower,
that now.
yeah.
So it's like
Oh, so it's losing value.
it's losing value.
It was
Yeah.
up there. Like everything's losing value though, you know.
$5,000-$6,000.
Yeah.
Not, you know.
Now you can get it for like 15, 16, if you know, you just kind of shop around.
Yeah. It'd be a cool repaint though. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I would love to see it repainted, especially how the shot gave that perspective on it.
Like
This trash right here.
yeah, this is not trash. Like to me, this is like the superior sculpt, the paint, just the wow factor behind it. Like you know, it's to me this is a superior statue.
Now to me, I love the scope of the Magneto, but I'm not a fan of the Sentinel base. The Sentinel drone he's sitting on. It's for me, it just feels like too much going on. Like my eyes, it's just I can't really.
There's a lot of people that like they like their stuff simple, and you know, me and you for some reason we both collect X-Men, but we're the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
I like
we
my
do.
shit busy.
Yeah.
Like I like it like crazy, and you don't. You like it simple and classy, and I understand both ways of thinking. You know.
But overall, I do see why you would consider this the better piece. It does, like you said, it does have that wow factor, especially when you get a sense of how large it really is, because this picture's not doing it any justice.
Pause.
As far as the size. So, you know, it wow factor and the intricacies in the base is just like, you know, overall, if you just show, if I'm somebody who's not a statue collector and I saw the XM and I saw this, you know, I would go for this.
Yeah. Like I don't know if you guys have caught it, but Mr. X did like a top Magneto statues of like all time, or like his top statues. This was in his top 5, I believe. And that XM one was like, I don't even know if it was top 10. I don't remember, but it was low, like comparatively. And you know, he's had a lot of Magnetos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are actually 2 Magneto and Sentinel drones. One that's currently on the market is right now, and one that's still in production. You know the one that's still in production.
Yeah, I have that one coming too.
So I like both of those better than this one. Like out of all the Magneto on Sentinel drones, it's the one I like the least because of what I said before. But
yeah, I get what you're saying. It is busy, but what they did, all right. So like when you look at the statue, the paint is dull because they're making Magneto stand out from the rest of the statue. If that makes sense.
The paint on the Sentinel. I saw somebody who actually got the Sentinel repainted on this piece, and it looked way better. You were able to differentiate the Sentinel parts way better once the paint was redone. So I do think the paint has a lot to do with it. How you just said it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. As far as painting is just not. It need to be more weathered and to separate what is what. I think it's nice. I think that what I really don't, for me, his waist his waist above is nice, Scream Magneto, but his waist below his legs, there's something with his legs that just ain't it for me.
Got you.
Looks like the shading isn't as prominent as it is in the lower torso as it is in the top torso, right? Like there's more shading on the top.
That too.
Maybe that.
Yeah, it's got more. His upper body's got more punch to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is just one of those very ambitious pieces to take on in general.
Yeah.
Like that shot. That shot right there, nice.
Yeah, that's real nice.
But something with
I remember when this was released, everybody was like, you know, this was one of those like, wow, like they actually did it kind of pieces. So, you know, you tend to forgive certain flaws when those kind of pieces hit the market, you know. But, you know, over time, you know, those flaws get less and less forgiven. You know, as the hype wears down, people start to pay more attention to kind of the issues. But once again, like I think overall it's a really, really good piece. And I think it's better than XM's.
Yeah.
So,
But you know, this is part of like the reason why I do these like combat videos, is like to show people that there's other stuff out there besides the license pieces that maybe you might consider better, or you might consider more over that statue, you know, kind of give people other options. Because, you know, you can find, you know, I think we did one a while back with the Hulk, like Hulk was coming out, and I just wanted to give people other options, you know, besides the Sideshow one that they were going to get. So,
but you know, I do think you have to take into factor the length of time in between the release of the XM and this one. You know, because, you know, if you ask XM to make a Magneto on Sentinel Throne now, I'm sure it would be extravagant.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, but I do understand why you picked these two, because, you know, the conversation that was had.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, there's a big gap in between the times these were both, you know, brought to market. I think that gap, there's a lot of.
It was crazy because I was the only one that thought this was a better statue than the XM one. I'm like, yeah, really?
Yeah, it comes down to preference a lot for these two, I think.
Yeah, there's a whole the other one's underscale, but this one has a lot going on, right? This one takes up a lot of space too, doesn't it?
It's like, it's really hard to just display it. Like, it's because it's deep at the same time, like it's huge, but you have to stick it away from the wall because it'll hit the wall.
Yeah,
it goes way back. This part right here.
I love the lighting effects, the eyes.
Oh yeah, that light is nice.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, look how far we've come, right?
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, in like a short amount of time. I mean, even like, you know, a year or two from now, I wonder what's going to be the crazy statue, you know?
Silicone.
And some more of this thing. This is Mr. Popo's right here.
Yep.
Got that Maestro in the background. Predator. I mean, and I get it. You know, it's like that. You know, like you said, that 69 Camaro. You know, it's like, oh man, that's like your dream car that you always wanted. There might be, you know, a better Camaro out there, but you've always wanted a 69.
Pause.
But yeah, I'm gonna start a poll and see what everybody else in the chat thinks.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo. I'm kind of liking that older one better.
You think so?
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
It's more simple, or?
I don't know.
I can't lie. When he went back to it, I was feeling a little bit different too. I was just like, you know what?
I like the sculpt on this one better.
Yeah. Relaxed. The other, he looks too forced. Looks like he's got his leg. I don't know, man. This one better.
This looks more natural. Like it's like, you know, it's
his pose. That's how he's sitting.
Matt said it right. It's the swag on the pose.
He's swag on the pose. It's the way he's leaning, his arms up. Yep. It's just natural. Yeah, a lot of the stuff is too forced, and it's his his muscular. His muscles are more natural. He's not jacked up.
Yeah,
it's smaller. It's under scale, but I think it's a better sculpt. I think it needs better paint.
That's the only reason. Yeah, that's the only reason why I never really pursued it. To me, sorry, Jarhead. This is my favorite mags.
No, I get it. You know.
Plus, I'm an old school guy too, right? So
yeah,
it fits right in. But the reason why I did feel that same way. It's underscaled. It's that 1/5 piece. Same thing with Doom, right? I like the Doom Sideshow's Doom, but it's underscaled as well. So didn't really go.
And then when the base is way unnecessary, it's just I like elaborate bases. I'm one of those guys that like a crazy kind of base, but I think that one's like just over the top.
Yeah.
Like
this one.
Cut that head in half and do something else with it. His head, I don't know.
I like my Scotch neat.
Check out this.
I think when bases become so they don't add to the story what's going on, and it's just let's see how crazy we can get. Then it's too much. I think this one is like it's got the enough. It tells you what's going on. The other one's just like, let's how big and crazy we can make it. You know, that's
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I think a lot of them sculptors need to like pay attention to is like, are you selling the sculpture or the base? You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
the base alone is his own sculpture.
The bigger isn't always better. You know.
Yep.
You
You know, one of my
know.
rules
is
is that I like an aspect of a statue like more than the character. Like that new sideshow Ghost Rider, right? The one on white. You know, a lot of people like the light effect about it. But if the primary thing about the statue I like isn't the character, I don't get it. Like if it has a really great base and the character is just subpar, I'm not gonna buy a statue because the base is great or intricate. You know, the character has to be the main focus, the main appeal for me personally when I'm looking at a statue.
I'll let it go. The poll go for 1 more minute, and then I'll close it out.
What's the poll out now? Like, what's the percentage?
60% to the custom and 40% to the XM.
Yo, it seemed like we just switched up once you went back.
Now it's 50-50.
It didn't seem like because I was looking at the custom one and I was thinking about this one, and then he went back and I was just like, it just looked different to me when he went back to it.
And this one is the XM, right?
This is XM, yeah.
But you know, it reminds me of, I don't know if you remember, if y'all know the custom Doom on Throne, where he has a similar pose. You know, he's just kind of like leaned back in the throne like that.
Yeah. That one's an even older piece, but like, you know, people swear by that one too, you know?
No, not the sideshow one, the custom one.
The
one that Franco did.
Yeah. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of he has like a little swaggy.
That base is very simple.
Yeah, that's
but it's elegant. It's elegant, simple. You know.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll right now. I don't know. That was crazy. It was the custom was leading 60%. Now it's XM at 67%.
Haha. Swayed their opinion.
I guess when I went back to it, it was like, oh, let's hurry up and put some more loving on the XM one. So,
yeah, man, I'm telling you, anatomy sells, man, and just the anatomy on this is just so much more natural, relaxed, and just the presence of the anatomy on this.
I will say though that the custom heads that you can get for this elevates the statue. Like I was saying, there's a one with he's like an older sculpt, but he's got like Wolverine's claws across his helmet.
Yeah, I like that one.
I love that head sculpt.
Yeah, I think I've painted a few custom heads for this. Not that particular one, but I think I've done one or two older portraits for this kit.
There was one that just came out too with the Venomized one. Like, there's always stuff that keep coming out for this statue. It seems like.
You're making Venomized stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah, I want to ask a question. What are your opinions on the Venomized stuff?
I can't stand it. I can't stand Venomized anything. I'm just like,
I feel like Venom sells. Venom sells across the board, and I think I think it's just a marketing thing that, you know, let's add some Venom to this. And
I mean, but that looks dope right there. I mean, hold on, let me.
Well, I'm glad I didn't show my customized Venomized Spidey.
It's done really well. It's just the concept I don't like, but the execution is amazing on a lot of Venom stuff. But the concept of just venomizing the characters itself is what I don't like. Yeah. But the pieces that they venomize, like that venomized Wolverine recently, the custom, you know, I actually like the aesthetics of it.
Some of them look good, and some of them do it like it's just too much. You know, I don't know.
I feel like a lot of times they don't execute on that half and half. It's like, I mean, they don't execute on the Venom taking over. It's like half and half. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
not enough Venom.
Yeah, it's
not
like
enough Venom
of the character instead of like it really capturing Venom taking over that character.
Yeah. Too much Venom or not enough Venom.
Yeah.
XM's got a Venomized Hulk coming out that I really like.
Actually, I like that one.
Yeah, that Venomized Hulk kind of gives off that you know, the character is getting taken over by. But yeah, I never thought about that, but I agree. Like most of these pieces, like makes it seem like like you said, half and half. Venom is just kind of there coexisting with the actual character instead of like, you know, taking over as a symbiote.
And that's when like the anatomy and pose is so important, because it's like if Venom's taking you over, what are you doing? What is that character doing? Like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's standing there, it doesn't make sense.
He's not
Yeah.
standing there like, you know. All right.
That's a good idea that Luke just came out with, the Battle of the Magneto statues.
There's enough out there to like have
There's a lot out there.
Battle of Magneto, Battle of Silver Surfer, Battle of Wolverine. There's a bunch of
Battle of Venoms.
Yeah, like Half-Dead said there's like a lot of Venoms out there, but I don't know. Half-Dead, like, do you see that? Like, there's a lot of them too, but like, do you see them selling out? Like, I think that's why they're doing them.
Yeah, that's why they keep doing it. Venom sells. Venom sells.
Maybe there's something behind it.
Where's the poll at, Jarhead?
It already ended. It was XM won 67%.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think somebody's hacking it into the system, because you know my Sentinel piece lost the first round the other day. I don't know what that's about.
Oh man. But yeah, it was great having y'all on, man. Y'all could come back anytime y'all want. It's an open invitation. I know we kind of drilled y'all today. I gave us a lot of information, but no obligation to do that again. Just come hang out whenever y'all want. It's just great to see y'all. I've seen you on Rad Titan, and I think I've seen you do an interview before that as well. I can't recall what channel, but I think it might have been Sundays with Jerry.
There was some guy that interviewed me a year ago. I don't know who it was. He didn't have a big following. He just saw me, but Rad Titan was the least second one I've ever done.
Yeah.
So, cool. And Half-Dead, I think this is your first time out here. Shamir, right? I believe.
Shamar.
What's your name?
I didn't do a Half-Dead face. I got my my personal name on there. So sometimes people are like, oh, you seen it? I'm like, yeah, I commissioned that. Yeah,
yeah. Some people pronounce my name wrong too. My first name, it's hard to pronounce, so it's not Roberto, it's not Robert, it's Roberts, so I feel your pain.
But yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on, man. It's nice to talk to people that are, outside of, people on the internet, I really don't got nobody in my personal life that's interested or into this.
Yeah. That's it. We like, that's what we like about this, is because we can talk about nerdy stuff and and talk about statues and stuff that we're into. And none of us have a lot of that in our personal lives, so it's fun to talk about.
For me personally, my bad. For me personally, anything I'm passionate about, I like to immerse myself in the culture of it and learn as much about the process of it as I can. So having y'all on and having y'all go back and forth about different paints and brushes and everything, it's super exciting to me. So I really like that. Y'all bring a lot of value to the community. So it's important. It's always important to highlight the artists, from the sculptors to the painters, everybody. Everybody's important in this process. Sometimes as collectors, we just think about ourselves getting the statue and don't think about all the people that put hands on it to make it what it was. So definitely a lot of appreciation to you guys. Yeah. Matt, of course, Matt did my beast right here on the side, and then you have several pieces right here. Yeah, that's the beast you did. But you probably say a little better. But and then of course I got the Wolverines and Silver Surfer with you, so we'll figure out when those get done.
Yeah, and then shout out to Matt, man. He out here helping the next wave of painters.
Well, I learned, like I said, I learned by doing. I learned from other people. I watch. If I don't know how to do, I ask people all the time how to do stuff, because again, half the time I'm just throwing paint on it. There's certain things I have a kind of a formula down, but we're talking about skin tones and the pan pastel. I've changed the way I've done skin tones probably half a dozen times. Yeah. It'll probably change again. But then it's just taking all that knowledge I've learned from other people, just kind of putting it all together,
Yeah.
So Yeah, so like talking to other painters or other artists, you know, that's one. So there's a convention in Louisville, Wonderfest, in a few weeks I'm going to, and there's a couple heavy hitter painters there. I don't know if you guys know Ed Bradley. He does mostly commercial work, so he's working with toy companies, painted for Sideshow for a really long time. I pick his brain all the time, and he's got some really simple techniques that I've taken on. Like how do you do that? He's like, yeah, it's real simple. Just do. John Allred gave me John Allred was kind of like my mentor. I first met him at Wonderfest in 2015, and he's like, I was really struggling with like faces and trying to make them look alive. Like, put some purple in the eye sockets. And the first time I did that, like a light bulb going. I was like, holy shit, look, his eyes look alive. So just I get little tips here and there, and it just leads to other things that kind of. And so I try to pass that on because that's how I learn. Yeah. So if you watch my YouTube channel, my YouTube videos, which are 2, 3, 4 hours long, it's me verbalizing my thought process as I do it to try to, because this is what I think we're going to do, and it changes as I go. So, you know, it's not the most entertaining to watch, but I try to be informative.
But that really separates somebody and on the painting side of things that really want to learn how to do it versus this microwavable society we in, you know what I mean? Like, and you see it in the videos, you know, like what you guys doing here, and even with Matt with his painting videos is like everybody else got this content-driven style of videos for views and promotions and stuff like that, and it takes away from the
genuine.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
There's a guy. There's another channel I follow. It goes by Ground Affected. His name's Brett out of the UK. He's got I love his style. It's very comic style painting. And I was on his channel a while ago, and I pick his brains too. It's like, dude, that looks awesome. Like, how'd you do that? And he's like, I just did it like it's simple. It's like, I pick his brains all the time too. So I take some of the stuff he's, you know, again, I learn from others. I am far from being the best at anything. You know, all the stuff I know how to do is just mostly from other people and just fucking up and redoing it.
I'm guessing Nelson must have meant this statue right here.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. I'm just surprised that they're doing this piece because it's the same X23 that
they just venomized it.
They just venomized it. I'm not sure how I feel about that, you know, but you know,
I don't like it.
I think that was terrible.
I'm not a fan of that.
I just pre-ordered this, by the way, but it's okay. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you wasted your money.
I know. Well, thanks for telling me.
But the X23 version of it, the X23 version is like Savage X23 is a great piece.
Alone, it's good, but that Venom, nah. It got to take a certain character, and they got to really execute it for that to look good.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, guys, it's getting late here, and I gotta be up early for work. And
I think a bunch of us do.
What's that?
I think a bunch of us do.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I appreciate everybody for showing up and talking some nerdy stuff and painting, and appreciate Matt and Half Dead and Gabe for stopping by and talking about their craft and just sharing information. I appreciate it. Then I appreciate everybody else that came through. Casual, Piggy, D3, Matt. Thanks.
Thanks for having me. I can talk about this shit forever, man.
Yeah, that's there, man. I like that.
I don't collect, but I love all the process and the art, and I just like the art form. So, I just like anything that has to do with it. So,
would there be one thing that you like? I know, like, you don't collect, but would there be one thing that you would want, like, to actually collect?
So, out of if I was doing license pieces, I love the XM Transformer stuff.
Okay.
Transformers was my jam when I was a kid. Did they just do a Devastator? Right?
That's PCS. PCS is Devastator.
PCS. I can't remember. Anyway, I like the Transformer stuff. It's rare that I see a piece. I've never had the urge to buy a statue. I like the building process.
It's probably one of those things too. You paint them all the time and you have them in your house, so it's like I don't know. That's
And to be honest, I don't want to dust them.
I'm the complete opposite, man. I want everything, and it's like I can print and paint this.
Well, that's the great thing about printing is if you want something and you have the printer, you can print it or have someone print it for you. And if you're a painter, you can paint it. I haven't built anything for myself in probably 7 or 8 years. It's been a long time since I've done a personal piece.
You got that personal piece, man. You gotta get that personal piece.
But by the time I'm done painting and I'm over it, I'm like, okay, I'm done with it. I'm ready to let someone else enjoy it. My enjoyment's in the process. That's where I get my enjoyment.
Okay.
Well, guys, I appreciate it, and let's get out of here.
All right, thanks for having me.
See you guys later. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, appreciate it.